another tournament over your oldest rival.
Yeah, no kidding at all. And there's definitely a lot to ride for in this. And again, history in the making. But like you said, the fact that we get to start on Ankara is definitely a bit of a landmark. I mean, a map that we've been talking about this entire tournament, where both these powerhouse teams have been able to showcase what they can bring into it. What a way to start this off here for the best of 5. And we're not messing around. We're going to get right into it. It is going to be AG.AL taking on BaiSha Gaming. BaiSha will be on the defense. AG will be taking the blacklist side. And let's get it going.
Yeah, and just to throw a couple more stats in as we look like we're going to have a little bit of a slower start to this one. I mean, these are the two most storied organizations in the history of CROSSFIRE in terms of achievements. It's All Gamers 1, BaiSha 2 in overall earnings and medals. And then talking about players as well, we've got 4 of the 5 top-rated players in the history of CROSSFIRE as well. 9 ZY, ZQ, and Zhui obviously involved in this matchup, and the only one missing out of that top 5 is Even, who is a former AG player. So let's get it on as AG start to make their way in toward that A site, and 577 has an answer for them. A nice double kill from him. 9 doesn't have to do too much work. He's easily waiting for that 3rd kill to come through for BaiSha, and it's a great start for BaiSha, isn't it? A 3-on-1 to close out this initial round. AG not quite finding their success on the entry into A.
Yeah, here we go again though, right? I mean, this is where we get to see, you know, someone like 577 that's just putting up some big kills, some big entries, and that's exactly where you want it to be. And that's where I felt like in the beginning of this tournament, that's what we were seeing a lot, is that he was really just, again, kind of being a showcase on this and really just being able to get some good things moving. But look, I mean, it is a good start here for BaiSha. We'll see who's going to be able to find a little bit more of this. I definitely expect to see YDSS putting himself in a lot of positions where he can get these duels, but let's not even excuse the fact that, you know, 1-2-2-2, he was somebody here in the semi where he made a bit of a landscape. Himself and Zhui, both these players, you know, really did pick up a lot of the slack to get themselves here in this grand final.
Well, it slows down for round 2. Winning kill going the way of AG, and now they're trying to figure out how they're going to negotiate the rest of this round to close it out. Kara, choice of BaiSha, so throwing AG's map pick back at them. Confident start from BaiSha, no doubt, but this round they are going to have to take a bit of a risk. They lost the opening player, so they're going to stack 3 over on B. YDSS is also going to have a little bit of a look here in through mid-con. His timing could be pretty dangerous. He catches Zhui in the back. It's only a 1-for-1. But that's going to be some important information for BaiSha as they do start to rotate 577 off of the A site to have a little bit of a look into GR spawn. Unfortunately, he's a little bit too late. The map's now been cut in half.
Yeah, really good play though. And the fact that, you know, they're able to kind of push through this, and now the fact that AG have been able to, you know, like you said, just kind of cut right down the middle of the pie, and they can make a decision which side do they want, which piece looks a little bit better or more tasty. I don't know. They're going to decide to try to make a bit of a decision, but 1-2-2-2 does go down early. Still with a minute, or still with 38 seconds, I should say. They have a little bit of time they can work with, but they cannot mess around. This is where they have to be a bit more decisive. And it does look like that B site is going to be up for grabs, and they should be able to get this plant done. But really, you have BaiSha that are close on the heels.
Yeah, may be able to make a difference if he can connect a shot here. You're not going to give him that chance. That smoke keeping ZQ safe on the cross. Plant's gone down. Rotation coming through here for BaiSha. 9 not too eager to challenge this angle. He's spotted Do out, and wisely, I think, backed away. He's going to try and find a different avenue of attack and close the distance a little bit better behind this smoke. Actually, a bit of chip damage onto ZQ through that smoke and through the box. Time is slipping away here from BaiSha. That's an important kill to start to get the back into the mix. CY also going to fall. BaiSha on for 2, and it's Do that will go down to secure it for BaiSha. 2-0 the lead.
This is exactly what I was talking about, is the fact that, you know, someone like 577, he's been just instrumental this entire tournament. It feels like any game, any person he plays, he's going to put up these big, big numbers. A situation like this, now he's putting himself at a 5-1 scoreline this early on. This is exactly what BaiSha need. We said that, you know, they had a little bit of a hiccup earlier in the group stage. It's been full steam ahead since they had that little bit of a loss. But That's where we expect to see everything at the full effects here from both these teams. But BaiSha really are just coming out the gate quickly on this, and they're trying to make a statement on this GR side.
I mean, it's wild that BaiSha was able to win that round. That was definitely a favorable one for AG at multiple points in the round. The opening pick, the post plan as well. I mean, a 3-on-3 post plan, that should be your round most of the time. So we're already getting a bit of an idea that maybe BaiSha are bringing the heat a little bit more here on Ankara than what AG have been able to so far. Nade's going to go over the top and Shui and 1-2-2-2, a little bit of a tickle. Re-smoke in for A main as well. This is a decent hold thus far for BaiSha. The util usage has been good, but they've only got 2 players over on A to defend. So if the pop comes through now from AG, 9 will be a dead man. Then open. And he backs off. The re-smoke again for A main. Nade over the top from AG. And they just contact playing their way out onto the site. 9's got no idea. He's not seeing anything. He's flashing middle. And 577's gone down in the meanwhile. Now it's on to 9, who needs to double down and can't. And that will be the A site taken. So now the question becomes, will Do survive? And of course he does. He goes one better.
He does one even better. Looking for a little bit more. He will be able to find that secondary kill here for the back lines of the attempted flank. And now Joao is the only one left. And Do's got a bit of an inkling, and there you go. Lands the utility, gets himself the triple in this round, and my oh my.
Yeah, it doesn't take very long to get back into the game here for AG. It probably should have happened a round earlier, but you know, 2-1 at round 3 is a good spot to be in. And historically speaking, I know, you know, I sort of continue to allude to the Summer Champs final of 2023, but that was just such a historic match between these two teams. That was probably my favorite match of these two teams because it started off so well for BaiSha. It was 10-2 and I think 10-3, something like that over the first 2 maps. Both going the way of BaiSha, and I thought, okay, AG's out of this.
Yeah.
But then AG won that series 3-2. And that's very much been the mentality I feel that we've got between these two teams time and time and time again. Even if it's not going all the way to 5 maps, you very often see a really highly competitive game between these two lineups, regardless of, you know, which iteration of each lineup we're talking about as well. Obviously, these two teams vastly different, even despite the fact that they've still both got core rosters from that 2023 match. So I don't think we can expect to see one team just come out here, dominate, run away with a quick 3-0. That's not going to happen.
Exactly. No, you're exactly right, Elfish. And I mean, that's the thing. And we talked a lot about the storylines of both these teams. And now BaiSha goes for a massive swing from YDSS and finds that stubble already. So now AG, more problems awry here. You have Do and 1-2-2-2, the last 2 remaining players. And a 2v5 with 1:15 is not great. You still have to pick up the bomb in the back and middle. This is clearly a favorable situation here for BaiSha. This is looking very good for them already on the GR side. Yeah.
I mean, it is their map pick, so I guess there's something to be taken note of there. But I will say, in the past, have always favored BaiSha personally. You know, I'm someone that's kind of like looked at the cores of the roster, and I've always been a little bit more keen on 9 and Xiao as a duo, as opposed to, you know, maybe the core roster of AG being ZQ, ZY, and Do.
Yeah.
577 also worth noting for BaiSha, having been part of the core for a very long time. And I just think there's a little bit of a higher peak typically for BaiSha's individuals than there is for AG. I know a lot of people, you know, will have high opinions of the likes of ZQ and ZY particularly. But yeah, I've always been a fan of 9. He's my GOAT, and I think Xiao definitely inspires me a little bit more than Do does as well on that sniper rifle. So if anyone is going to do it, and I've been waiting for it for a multiple number of years, for BaiSha to like kind of claim a solid first place in the world kind of position. It's never really happened. It's always been quite back and forth between these two teams. But yeah, again, my take is BaiSha edged slightly. We'll see if that proves to be true today. So far it is. But it is very, very early days here. 3-1 start. There's nothing to really get too excited about. You're not going to be writing home about this one just yet. Re-smoke into main. It's the same kind of setup for BaiSha. 2-2-1 or 2-1-2. Constant re-smokes on A main, trying to keep AG at bay. And, you know, we've been seeing the A bomb site be a really priority position for both teams on Ankara throughout this tournament.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, too, is that, you know, BaiSha, they were the ones that were able to kind of sit back and watch a little bit more. because the last semifinal was with AG, right? I mean, that's where they were able to get that victory, like we said, about over EP. So, for BaiSha's sake, they were able to kind of, make some very quick notes and just kind of realizing, okay, look, this is some of the things that we're noticing that AG are doing on this map. That's probably even why that BaiSha went for this pick regardless. So that's a little bit of a favorable situation, and N9 just finds himself, why not a quad, and shuts down the door. They are not allowed to enter.
Yeah, that is a dangerous look now for AG as BaiSha start to pull ahead with a great degree of significance. These will have to be timeout time soon for AG. And that is why, like I said, I'm a fan of 9. He is the guy that can step up in those big moments. I think he's the best rifler in the world, or at least in the past has been the best rifler in the world. I think now there is probably a bit more of a conversation around a couple of other players, but certainly at points in his career, 9 has been unstoppable. And if he can find that form again, this will be a very hard grand final to get through for AG. And that is the quintessential 9 round.
Exactly. No, I'm definitely on the same page with you. I think there's a lot of really good points you bring up. 9 definitely, I think that Kyle mentioned this at the desk and saying, one of the first people that could have five championships under his belt, and if they could be able to find themselves in an EWC, the first time champions, that's just adding another notch to his belt of what he's been able to accomplish in the game of CROSSFIRE. Wait and see. AG do have a lot of work cut out for them, though. Their game plan that worked against EP is clearly not the same thing against, a BaiSha that's really playing well now. This is where I think we're starting to see this championship level team, the team that has been, again, just taking every single tournament, any sort of competition in their name.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, you can't fault either of these teams for the run that they've had. They've both had, really, really tough opponents that they've had to face. BaiSha in Group C, obviously playing against Evolution Power and Team Falcons, and AG having to play Evolution Power and KINGZERO throughout the playoff stage. But there is only one team that's in this grand final at the moment, and their name is BaiSha. So AG are going to have to find a way to fix this pretty quick smart. Otherwise, map 1's going to be in the books easily for BaiSha. And it may not be fixable here for AG over the course of this map. It may have to just be, look, it's a best of 5. We need to sack this map and think about map 2, which is our map choice. Let's just get what we can out of this. If it goes well, it goes well. If not, obviously it's a best of 5. There's still a lot of time to come back into this series. They are going to call attack timeout here, though, AG.AL. This is the time now for them to try and figure something out, to try and stem the flow of blood. Otherwise, this game is going to be over very quickly.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, we're not seeing, the same abilities of someone like Du or someone like, Jouet that was able to put up some big numbers. I mean, Jouet, in the first half alone, I'm pretty sure he dropped like 16 and 5. Like, he was just running around rampant, just getting all these kills. It's the other side of this now. It's BaiSha that's doing it. It's N9 that's able to do it. It's YDSS. It's 577. Like, everybody is hungry for this trophy that you can see on the screen, and that's the biggest thing. And AG, a little bit of a tactical timeout that they need because, again, like you said, nothing is working. This game plan of just taking it slow and defaulting, that's not going to work in this situation. You can tell that they're just getting squashed on all the ideas that they're trying to work with. So we'll have to see what kind of creativity they want to run with. What are they going to be able to have? The coaches, speaking a lot of things here, but they have to know there's got to be some kind of a gap. But I feel like it's hard to know because BaiSha, I feel like anything they've done it's just been almost perfect. I haven't even noticed a gap.
I don't even know if BaiSha have necessarily had to work too hard in this one. I feel like the individuals are just having such a great display. You've got guys popping off on A, you've got guys popping off on B, like 9 hits a 3K spray down on A, and then the next round they go B, and Xiao's there, and he's just hitting everything with the TRG, and it's like, well, what are you going to do? These are like 2 of the best players in the world, and they're both having an on day. Sometimes that's just how it be, and not to mention the fact that 577 is also 9 and 2. So there's only so much you can really do in that kind of circumstances, AG. You can throw everything you've got at the wall. Sometimes it's just not going to stick, right?
Exactly.
Sometimes your opponent is just that good. And I think we're kind of in that position right now. Obviously, the half's not over just yet. We'll see if AG have any kinds of curveballs. But, they've, I imagine, kind of run the setups, run the strategies that they came with and prepared with for this BL side already, and none of it's worked. Mm-hmm. So it's time to figure something out, something more plan B-esque or even just if it's an individual has a pop-off moment here and gets us, you know, a cheeky round or two, at least then we'll have something to play with and hope that the half swap is going to make a difference, because it can make a big difference moving over to the GR side here for AG. They'll be comfortable there as well.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I mean, this is where we actually did have 9 that was available on the site. He actually does rotate off a little bit though. So now 577, if he can just survive as much as possible. But look at this, they don't clear him. Oh, he just gets away with murder and takes down 3, sitting himself at the 12-2. And now it's due to pull up a clutch, but again, nothing.
It's just such a clean setup again from BaiSha, and it's reminiscent of the name of the game, CROSSFIRE. That was too strong of a CROSSFIRE for BaiSha. You had 577 down the bottom, you had a teammate up on top, the teammate's watching main, 577's watching vent. 577 lets a couple of players out vent, but he peeks at the perfect time, and he doesn't even have to worry about main, because his mate on top of site is covering that angle.
Exactly.
All he has to do is focus in on the back of the 2 players of AG that are walking their way through to the stairs position, and he gets an easy 2-man spray down, and at that point the round is pretty much done and dusted. So AG just having some real trouble. They're not able to clear out the positions that they need to. Like 577 needs to be checked there, and he's not. And that's pretty much the end of the round for AG, and potentially we're getting close to the end of the map here for them as well. I mean, 12-3 for 577. Have to continue to sing his praises.
Yeah, honestly, it's hard not to ignore it, because again, just everything he's doing is just, he's got so much intuition, and he just feels like, you know, he's just finding all these opportunities to get these big kills, and it's a meal deal, man. It really is. Now, I mean, I kind of mentioned it, Dude finally gets himself that first opening duel. So something goes in the benefit here for AG. But do they really want to commit to this plan? Again, with 1:28 left remaining, they still have lots of time. They don't have to commit to this plan if they don't want to, because you have to remember, BaiSha have 3 players that are committed to this. A double player on the lower side. You have N9 that's, again, just making sure nobody's just trying to be, you know, for the lurk. But AG, trying to burn the clock. They're trying to burn the candle just a little bit to see if they can throw them off guard and maybe get their own heads.
I feel like AG's kind of burning the candle at both ends with this half at the moment. They've got to make something happen. They've got to do it soon. The setup is actually really good from BaiSha, though, as they've brought a 3rd player across. This is going to be a really well-defended site. Xiao for a couple will fall, but now it's on to 9, and he is the GOAT of the game. YDSS coming across as well. The spray on the
How is he alive?
It's so long, YDSS with a big old whiff, but he finds himself in the 1v1. He's got 11 bullets still in the chamber there in the M14, and ZQ wants none of it. He is on his way over to B. I think YDSS is just going to chase him down. He just wants to take the fight. He might have even seen him on the exit there, and he's just going to continue to charge his way forward. He is fearless, as you should be right now for BaiSha. Smoke's going to go up, but I dare say he might even just go through it.
Yeah, is he actually even going to clear it, though? Look at ZQ. He's got the ramp control. Is he going to be able to find it? He does spot him, and there it is. YDSS will still put the nail to the coffin just when things look okay for all gamers. An opportunity to get a second round. No, it's going to be the rug pulled right underneath you, and it's still just going to be BaiSha Gaming once again with a massive chomp as they are just trying to close this off in the first half with a dominant performance.
I don't really know what to say about this. AG just don't seem to be able to get anything going. BaiSha are turning water into wine at the moment and just absolutely dominating. I mean, anything they touch turns to gold. Seven and 1. And AG cannot find an answer right now. Even a second round in this half, Laz, it's just not going to be good enough.
It just feels like, again, BaiSha, like an amazing amount of counter strats that they've been able to make on this, right? I mean, they've really just taken the advantage when they finished the first semifinal and really have just made it so much of a difficulty here for AG. 577 only gets the one and done meal. Maybe now I might be able to find something. No, AG finally get themselves a bit of a pry open moment here with a 4-on-2 advantage. You have A.G.AL and now YDSS, the last 2 players here from BaiSha for this last round of the first half to see if they can get themselves an 8. And it's a full aggression, but how does he get away with that kind of shot? And again, he finds a second kill. No. This cannot be happening. AG, let it slip away. You've got to be kidding me. BaiSha Gaming are just trying to make an absolute statement so far here for the championship.
I don't know what to say about this one, Laz. I don't think there's anything left in the tank at all for AG. That is an unlosable round, and they find a way to lose that round. They are grasping a victory from the jaws of defeat in that one, BaiSha. And this is reminiscent. Again, need I remind you of that match that I've been referring to so many times, where BaiSha won the first couple of maps, something like 10-2, 10-2, at the Summer Championship of 2023, and then proceeded to go on to lose the series. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves just yet. This is fantastic for BaiSha, but it's a best of 5.
It is. And that's a really good point, because you have to bring that back up in the fact that this isn't just a best of 3. This is a BO5 where you have to make sure you can have enough gas in the tank that you can be able to withstand going the full distance and preserving your energy as much as possible. But man,
don't want to come out the gates too strong. Dump it all on Ankara and Black Widow and then come into Eagle-Eye and just fall flat.
Exactly. And that's the thing where, you know, but for a team like AG, like, I don't know if you're at the point now where maybe Ankara is just, it's not a write-off necessarily, but maybe just you're mentally kind of getting prepared for Black Widow to go, you know what, it's fine. We don't need to be able to get this win right here. We have that other opportunity. Nine's
just cracked open a couple of heads in this round as well, so it's started very nicely for BaiSha. It doesn't seem as though the half swap's going to make much of a difference. With a bit of an aggressive maneuver into mid, he's managed to set himself up in pit and try and catch any rotations if BaiSha made the decision to go back over towards A, but I don't really see why they would make that choice. It does eat a bit of nade damage, and Xiao also kind of watching, see whether or not AG are up to any funny business. I mean, BaiSha have a good setup outside of B right now. They just have to wait for this smoke to fade, and then they can make their way in, and I think they will do that. I think they'll just back themselves here. I mean, they're just taking fights and pretty much winning them all over the map. They've smoked off mid, they've smoked off GR spawn. Now it's time to start to make their way into the B side as the smoke outside of Hotel does fade. Nine's on his way forward, 1-2-2-2 behind the box, copying a bit of spam. Wasn't actually properly checked there, but easily traded down. Now we're into a 2v1, and this is where ZQ is going to have to show his veterancy. AG needs something, and they need something big, and they need it now. That's a nice shot, but ZQ down to a one shot, and Xiao will be well aware of that. He's going to go for the swing with the XM and gets it done.
Well, I mean, all gamers really just getting a taste of their own medicine. We talked about this in the semifinal that you and I were covering, where it was all gamers that were able to get that 8-1 when they were on the GR side, and that's where we were just talking about the dominant performance. But now BaiSha getting themselves in the map point here, which is their pick, of course, but this last round means this could be a 10-1, and maybe, like you said, you know, Elfish, like, could be going back to that situation where BaiSha were able to get a 10-2, a 10-2, but in this kind of a, you know, experience in 2025, BaiSha really just trying to rewrite something, maybe getting this 10-1.
Yep. 10-2, 10-2 on sub-base and then Ankara. And then they lost 10-8, 10-7, 10-8 for the next 3 maps. So, hey, Ankara, once again, not working out for AG in this matchup against BaiSha. 1 round away. This would be one of the most dominant maps of the tournament. We did have a 10-0, so I can't really say it's the most dominant map, but it certainly has been one of the most dominant. There hasn't really been much in this one for AG at all, though ZQ will give them an opener in this round as 577 just kind of tries to poke his way through A main.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a nice little bit of a kickstart here for all gamers, but can it be enough? I mean, we've seen that position where it was a 4-on-2 and it just falls away from them. And they know that. They have to make sure, again, that they just play this in the normal circumstances. And now YDSS just trying everything to clear all the angles, just spamming the boxes. And now it's going to be Live that's able to find that first spot. AG here on the rotates. But look at, they're just getting dominated again. They can't seem to win the frag department. Whoa. It's just BaiSha that's able to do it.
BaiSha are just deathmatching at this point, and they are running through AG. That's the end of map 1. Blink and you'll miss it. A 10-1, and BaiSha have thrown that glove down in front of AG and said, pick that up and bring the fight to us, because that was certainly nothing from AG and everything from BaiSha. But of course, it is a best of 5, so there's still a long way to go before we can crown BaiSha as the Esports World Cup champions here for CROSSFIRE. In saying that, though, those 5 players on the stage there, maybe in a couple of hours' time, quite a bit richer and quite a bit happier, because it's certainly heading in that direction at the moment.
It really is. And I mean, it's just like I said, that's a real tough pill to swallow here for all gamers. Yes, I mean, it's a 10-1. That's just a domination. That's just an absolute massacre. But now for all gamers, are going to have to reset this, you know, with the few minutes that they're going to have. But the thing that just makes it interesting to me as well, Elfish, is that, you know, like just kind of going back even for the CFPL and, you know, the earlier summer portion where these guys did go to a 3-2 circumstance in the upper bracket final, and it actually still was BaiSha that was able to get a 10-6 victory on Black Widows. So, like, again, does AG have something new that we don't know? Have they been able to readjust their game plan? Have they figured out that BaiSha doesn't have the perfect, you know, execution? I'm not sure, because this just felt like they weren't even here. It just felt like it was a totally different weight class.
Zhui, I don't think, got a single kill that game until the very last round. Literally the very last round, and pretty much an irrelevant kill as he was about to die. You know, like, you're basically playing 4v5 at that point. That's really, really rough for AG. I just think everyone on BaiSha was on, and no one on AG was. So they've got to figure that out here before we head into map number 2.
This land is calling.
The Sharks are circling and the waters are getting dangerous for all gamers. BaiSha Gaming with a dominant display on map number 1. AG.AL certainly have some work to do to come back from that one, but obviously it being a best of 5, they've got the time to do that, and they are also moving into their map choice. So can't get too far ahead of ourselves, and I think BaiSha have to sort of be aware of that as well. You know, they've been in this situation a number of times. Just because you win map 1, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win the series. So time to lock back in after the break.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. I mean, the one thing I feel like you can argue this on 2 different fronts. I mean, there is history where, like you said, there's been 10-2, 10-2s, and then a reverse sweep. And you're right, that is something we cannot ignore. But at the same breath, it's like a 10-1, and the way that they lost, it was just, they weren't able to do anything. Like we talked about quickly, that Joey was able to get his first and only kill at the very last second of the game. And it was essentially an irrelevant kill because it didn't bring anything. And he was one of the beast players that was popping off in the semifinal. Like him and Du together with this kind of this 1-2 combination that allowed them to get that 2-0 over EP. So I just feel like the way that we saw BaiSha, you know, kind of circling the waters, they got the blood in the water, and they were just that ferocious. I just wonder how much AG can really recover from it, but we are about to find out.
We are indeed. Time for Black Widow, and this certainly has been home ground territory for all gamers in the past, and hopefully for them it will be again, as they do desperately need to find a map under their belt. Otherwise BaiSha will have them with their backs against the wall. We'll jump on into it. It is BaiSha that will kick things off on the BL side. Double sniper setup for AG, so Du and ZY. We've seen that from them throughout this tournament so far. ZY pretty handy with the TRG. Just the singular sniper for BaiSha. That's a little bit more standard when you're on the attack.
Yeah, this is really just kind of hit a bit of a slower approach on this, especially just how fast, you know, the first game really did go, but I actually don't mind that though. I love that, you know, BaiSha don't like get in their own heads. They're not just trying to, you know, repeat it and maybe getting a little bit careless on this. I love that they're coming in focused with this game plan.
Yeah, a map can make a big difference. This, though, is a good start for BaiSha. You'd assume Xiao almost getting blocked there. I think he's a little bit scared. I think he did spot them and just decided he didn't want to take a fight there. I actually think it would have been a good fight for BaiSha to take. It was a 4-on-2. They more than likely would have traded effectively.
Yeah.
They back away from it. And that's information for AG as well. They also decide that they don't really want a bar of it. So they have kind of given that space over to BaiSha, which I guess at the end of the day is a small win for BaiSha, regardless of the fact that they don't actually end up getting any kills out of it this time.
But at least they got this short control. So, I mean, the fact that they might even just try to split onto this is important, but actually doesn't look like it's going to be the 3-2 that you normally see. It actually just could be this 4-1 commit. They might even just have the lurk of one player, which will be N9, that might just try to cross a rotator off guard through middle, and even just looking on the other side towards B. So very interesting indeed, because you do have ZY that's close on here with the sniper. He's going to be the first one to get the shot off, but he's not able to. 1-2-2-2 is able to get the double entry now after finally getting Zhao to be able to activate the sniper, but is it a little too late?
It's a bit of a dry hit from BaiSha, really, isn't it? Now Xiao looking for a trade in the middle as well. He's going to end up being the one that will, in fact, actually be traded. This is still winnable for BaiSha if they would have found a couple of quick kills there, but not going to happen. And immediately, all gamers on top in map number 2. I'd say looking at this, at least based on that round, you know, BaiSha, I don't know how much they've got for us here. If that's what their best BL round is,
yeah,
it's going to be a rough half.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, because when you kind of look at it for like all gamers, like they really do have some of the best record on this in the CFPL. Like they have been able to beat pretty much everybody in the division, and they have themselves like a 9-3 record, which is great. Whereas BaiSha, it was definitely a lot more lackluster. It wasn't as great, so it doesn't necessarily paint the full picture, but it really does give you a lot of hope, where in the sense for AG fans here, where they know that this could be an opportunity to bring the series back to the 1-on-1, given that, you know, all gamers, this is really the comfort pick. Like, this really is their map that they love to play.
Both teams smoking off mid. Neither interested. I'd like to see BaiSha, instead of just committing to a fight like that one, trying to find a little bit of information before they full send it. Last round they may have been better off taking long control and then doing the drop down from bridge. Just draw a bit of attention away from that. As you can see, AG happy to hold their positions for now. They're not really feeling under too much pressure at all. Almost caught in transition here, but working his way back over to the window. And again, it's going to be an A hit. This time, though, some presence coming through from long with YDSS. Probing a little bit. Smoke down on top of Do. He peeks right into the crosshair of Xiao, and now it's onto ZY, who will have to solo hold the site. Of course, rotation coming through in mid, but BaiSha dropping in from bridge are able to trade that down effectively. 1-2-2-2, though. Inside of that smoke, that's a BL smoke, by the way. Oh, not going to have any success. YDSS just knocks him over. BaiSha will not be denied for very long.
No, it's a good rebound, though. It really is. And the fact is, I'm really happy to see for all gamers as well, is the fact that we're seeing 1-2-2-2, like putting himself back into these bragging ways. Like, he's a guy that's sitting at a 4-1 scoreline right now. He was pretty quiet on the first map. Now he's the one that's top fragging in this round 3 situation. This might be enough where, again, these guys are going to have to find some way to elevate their gameplay and squeezing themselves back into this series and not trembling to the pressure and the dominance that we saw here from BaiSha. But long control going to be grabbed up for AG. This is really good in the sense now that Zhui can just play in the hot position. Now they can focus on the 2-2, or if they really want, they can go a little bit more adventurous, risk things out a little bit, because you can see BaiSha, they have different plans in store, and it looks like they might even try even a 5-man commit.
This is great map control for AG, that's for sure. Everything being given to them.
Exactly, and that's the thing that they did very well in the first set, or back in the semifinal, right? That's when they were playing active on the GR side, running around and just getting control. That's what allowed them to get into that 2-0.
See what Nine's going to get up to here as the smoke fades in the middle. If he catches 1-2-2-2, that's a good timing as this hit comes through onto B. That could be a difference maker. Nine actually will end up falling, so they've got to clear out this site comfortably, and they are able to do so. BaiSha, it'll be a 3-on-3. The post plant should be favorable for them. 1-2-2-2 being spotted out, also very low, so has to be careful with his positioning. BaiSha have been given the opportunity to work their way back out of the box room. They'll play the post plant from there. Anything the YDSS can get is a bonus, but he is tucked very deep on the site, and that's actually quite a difficult angle to clear. You have to cross the whole site to clear YDSS's position, and he can just jiggle like this and play safely. Of course, you have to be worrying about crossfire there if you're AG. Actually decides to swing the angle. 1-2-2-2 will shut him down, but time becoming a bit of a factor here. 5-7-7, he's that insurance fund. What a great shot, though, from Shui. Will keep this one in the bag from AG. 2-1. They hold on in that round, and I think BaiSha, just on an individual level, making a couple of mishaps there, a couple of over peaks, don't necessarily need to be taking those swings as aggressively. That just gave AG enough time for the defuse.
Yeah, just. But now we're seeing Zhui again being optimal level. This is right back to the winning formula that they had themselves before. For any All Gamers fans. So maybe the crowd has been able to get him a little bit more excited, because now he's even able to find that opening duel. Yeah, he goes down early, but it's an instant trade back, but it's something still.
1-for-1 will be favorable for BaiSha. Splits the defense a little. Xiao's also already got quite an advanced position. Not seeing anything on bridge, so it's going to be a good setup for an A take if and when BaiSha take this long control. Push coming on the bridge. Xiao's got a nade in hand. That is a very weak death for Xiao. So a lot more work to be done by the rest of the BaiSha lads. The riflers trying to make their way up long. A 1-for-1 thus far, but again, Xiao's freebie in the back of my mind. Wow, may not make a difference. 5-7-7 and 9 have been able to get the job done. It's just do solo, and it's a case of bringing that C4 and planting it. The round will be well and truly in the favor of BaiSha.
Yeah, and that's the situation where it actually was more favorable for AG, right? They were able to find that opening duel in the cat. Then you were like, okay, look, they can put all their attention onto long. But it's really the fact that 5-7-7, the guy that gets taken out, he was the one that was able to find that double, so now he gets removed. So this leaves the captain here for BaiSha now getting tested here for a clutch situation against Do.
Perfect positioning from him, but spotted out by Do. And that is a huge clutch to win for all gamers. BaiSha are looking a shadow of themselves here on map 2. Xiao getting caught with a grenade in hand is a serious mishap.
It really is.
And then the 2v1 going that easily to Do is going to be a cause for concern for BaiSha. So again, you know, if you're the coach of BaiSha here, you'd be looking at, you know, a couple of these rounds and thinking, might be time for attack timeout. These guys need to be whipped into shape. This has been anything but clean from BaiSha. They should have probably had another 1 or 2 rounds at least, and can't be affording to let those kinds of rounds slip by the wayside. ZY starting to feel confident. AG feeling good. Double kill comes through. And this map is in danger of going the way of AG, similarly to the way the last one went the way of BaiSha, which is just going to knock the wind out of the sails of BaiSha, that's for sure.
It definitely is. Yeah, you're right. You're definitely onto something here, Altish, because I think that AG they're starting to feel a lot better. That break has allowed them to just recharge and play their game a lot better than we were wondering. And again, this veto is so interesting in the sense that, you know, a strong map for BaiSha going into a strong map for all gamers. And BaiSha haven't really been giving us a good demonstration of what, you know, the deep strat book that we've been talking so much about this entire tournament. But we will definitely see what's going to happen. And, you know, it is BaiSha that does have the timeout. We do have that confirmation. We were pretty confident, but it's good to know. But this is going to be a 4-1, you know, in the hands of AG, being on the GR side. And I'm just curious what N9's going to have to say to his team and just, again, figure out a way to, you know, turn things around a little bit before it gets out of control. Otherwise, like we said, this best of 5, it turns into the 1-1 tie.
Well, like I implied, these two teams generally pretty evenly matched.
Probably couldn't have got a better final, honestly.
No, I mean, look, if I had to choose my ideal final, it was probably BaiSha AG or maybe BaiSha EP.
Yeah.
EP would have been a pretty good final, although what they showed today wasn't quite up to scratch, I guess.
I agree. And that's what makes this like such an exciting storyline. Like, again, it's just like this team on the screen, you know, of all gamers, a team just so dominant for such a long time has kind of a little bit fallen behind and have tried to reinvent themselves and tried to, you know, get back to the glory of what they've been able to do. But BaiSha, like, the fact that they were a team that had us all wondering what was going on in Summer Champs, and now they've turned it around and just any tournament finding a win left, right, and center. You just love to see it. So there's just, it's such a fun storyline for both these teams on 2 different perspectives.
And it's just such a battle back and forth. Now it's time for BaiSha to lock back in. It's not a great feeling to be on the receiving end of what you've just done to your opponent. You end up kind of looking a little bit silly. You're like, man, we were screaming and shouting like 30 minutes ago, and now we're the ones that are getting dumpstered.
And they look pretty flat too, right? I mean, it's hard to know, like, based on the body language, but it does speak a little bit, right? I mean, this is where we also said for BaiSha, like, the crowd is heavily favored for, you know, an all gamers lineup here. Like, this is where that, you know, as soon as a round's in favor, we can hear it through the audience, right? Like, we can pick this up. So that's the thing you have to work against. And you know, the fact that now the crowd's getting behind them and rounds are going for their favor, that's how you have to kind of go, okay, look, what do we do differently to get more of a spark? Like, how do we get that flame back?
These guys just need to lock back in, turn back on. I don't think strategically it's necessarily been a bad game from BaiSha. They've been getting plans. They've been finding themselves in, frankly, favorable post plans, actually, a lot of the time. There was the 3v3 on B, which they lost. There was the 2v1 on A that they lost. So it's not as if BaiSha are playing incorrectly. It's just that they're executing on it poorly. This round, obviously, starting poorly. Kill onto YDSS, and so BaiSha are just going to try and send it out of the box room. Shui lucky to be alive right here. Flash, I think, keeping him safe as the guys in box room couldn't see him. Nade's going to go through onto the box that ZQ's holding, and he'll be tagged down a little bit, but trying to walk your way into a meat grinder like this one is never going to go well for BaiSha. This feels like a Hail Mary, and that has so far not quite worked out. A couple of trades coming back to make it a little more interesting for BaiSha, but nothing in that one at all.
Yeah, it's just so surprising. Again, like even, you know, I made this quick comment before we got started is that like, you know, for the CFPL in the upper bracket, that was a best of 5 and BaiSha was able to come through. They did get themselves a 10-6 on this map against all gamers. So, but I'm not convinced right now. Like I don't feel like this BL side, we haven't seen like a lot of map control. We haven't really seen the strategy looking that great. It kind of feels like, you know, you made a good comment about Hail Marys. They're just like, yeah, okay, well, let's try a rush. Let's try this as a 5-man unit. And that's concerning for a championship level team of BaiSha and what they've been able to do so far this year.
I do think they are running out of ideas. You know, I think earlier in the half things were looking a little bit more strategically minded, let's just say. But that round certainly was not anything to write home about. Again, they're going to walk into the crossfire that's been set up here by AG. You've got a bit of a contest over middle with Jue and 1-2-2-2 having a bit of a look. ZQ's in there as well. BaiSha, they just need to hit some shots, win some duels, and they've done just that. A 2-for-1 trade up short is going to work out nicely for them, but Jue quickly bringing it back to a 2-4-2, and there's still a player on the site, but Xiao will dig him out.
Yeah, that's a great kill from Xiao. The fact that he's able to just go for that wall control quickly.
Plant denied.
Still lots of time, though. That nade doesn't do too much damage, but Du's trying to, again, just be aggressive.
Yeah, but you can just see that it's not as clean from BaiSha. You know, they don't have that intuitive sense that they did on Ankara. It's a nice kill from Xiao as Du tries to repeat the same angle. Jue almost in for the 2v1. He's going to toss that grenade through. It won't actually connect onto Leah, who has a serious advantage now in this 1v1. He's going to take the fight and lose it. No way. It's just like the shoes on the other foot. Everything that could go wrong for AG went wrong on Ankara, and now you can say the same thing for BaiSha. There's now been 3 rounds on this side that BaiSha should have won. If you would freeze frame it, you'd say BaiSha has the advantage here. They've not won any of those rounds.
Exactly.
And AG are storming away with the first half.
They really are, and like it felt like that should have been the round. Like Xiao was able to play the positions perfectly, getting the first kill along. He was able to find that secondary duel and window. You're thinking, okay, look, this is looking good for BaiSha. They're finally able to get something moving. Their sniper's getting a little bit more active. He's making these proper connections that he needs to do, but again, just some misplays, and it just, like you said, I think that's the perfect analogy, is just saying that the shoe is on the other foot now, and it really does feel like that. And we're going to do a deja vu almost, it feels like, in this situation.
Yeah, the BO5 speed run, apparently. BaiSha are going to give it a crack into the box room again. Early nade would indicate that AG are aware of the possibility. Here come the flashes. In fact, it's not the box room, it's actually the B site. They're going to go charging their way out. 577 with a very important couple of openers, but still the frags coming through for AG. YDSS will start to seal the deal with that 3rd kill for BaiSha. 2 remaining defenders of AG somewhat locked out of the site now by Util. Should allow a plant to go down, but BaiSha are not rushing it. Do get YDSS across, and they are getting that plant down. ZY catches him on the plant, but trades are good. BaiSha have at least a second.
Yeah, and a desperate second round indeed, and it really feels like if they wouldn't have been able to find that, I don't know what would have. So not bad at all. Last round of the first half we go. And an ordeal to get to this situation here for the BaiSha fans, but look, I mean, for all gamers fans, they got to be picking up a sigh of relief onto this one. Jue has been able to just turn things around. Someone that was absent on first map is now really just taking the top fragging position with 11-5, and has created so much impact, and he's trying to make amends of what has happened on the first to bring that pain here for the second. Leah now waiting things out. A double player commit from AG on the catwalk. They're close on by. And BaiSha, do they split this off? And the trade is instant. ZY is able to find that first duel though, but it is going to pan out nicely for the BL side for the time being.
Yeah, the AG fans tense watching along. They don't want to see a 3rd one here for BaiSha, because that would just give them a little bit of an inroad back here into Black Widow that they can start to think about maybe making some magic happen. Well, 1-for-1 there. Not hugely favoring either team. I am a bit concerned about this recontest into mid from AG. If it Does come 1-2-2-2. Close by the doors. Swinging. Somehow getting too unreasonable again for AG. Everything just going their way. And you've also got that push coming out from Shui on short. YDSS with the C4s trying to make his way back across. He's going to be contested on the way. So not able to find the trade, but back to 2-on-2. This is just so back and forth.
It really is. It just feels like a little bit of a ping pong match in this, some retrospect. And now that 45 seconds that's about to hit the clock here. I mean, BaiSha, do you have an opportunity to go for this hit? But you still have to worry about Do. He's close on by. Still that nuisance a little bit, and ZQ is still playing this mid-connecting piece. This is a strong position because he's got that intel. Not sure if he's been able to hear them yet. But if he gets moving the way he is, oh, this could be a problem. This is becoming an AG sandwich.
He's going to try again and go as that plan occurs. That happens so many times. Nine has just completely neglected the possibility that ZQ's behind him. There'll be another round for AG. So many mishaps for BaiSha in this half. And it has resulted in a 7-2 lead for AG.
Love to see the passionate fans in the stands. And AG, you know, they're not giving up without a fight. They like you said, this could be a story where we have some very quick, you know, couple rounds, or maps, I should say, here for the best of 5, and then kind of just turns into a BO3 essentially, right? It's just like a fresh restart. We'll have to wait and see. A 7-2 first half has been done. Now things are switched over, and it's trades back and forth we go. And YDSS going down early, that is troublesome, I would say, for BaiSha. He was somebody that put up some magnificent numbers on that first map.
Still a forward hold from 9. Knows that he kind of needs to take this game by the horns and run with it. He wants BaiSha to come back into this map. Star player, standout player, in-game leader. The best players in the world. He needs to activate on this GR side. Alongside Xiao, who's actually been pretty good in this map so far. Those would be the two that I'd look to for BaiSha. Leah, interestingly enough, was the MVP in their matchup in the grand final of CFPL, which was a 3-0 the way of BaiSha. It's not as if there isn't firepower across the board for BaiSha.
That is true, yeah.
Here is Leah, requiring a bit of a job from. Take that secondary sniper role. He's waiting for this very push from AG. Not quite ready to go for it. They need to set that second player up on long, and then there's going to be a commitment on A. We have Leah and 577 here to try to defend for BaiSha, and it's a good line for Leah to be on. As long as he gets his timing right, he doesn't want to peek in after that space has already been taken by BaiSha. It's in fact going to come down to 577 opening the account. Leah finding a trade in there as well, but it is back to 2-on-2 as AG swarm their way through, and Shui with the C4 decides to do something absolutely mad. He jumps through the window right onto Nine's head. Now Xiao has spotted out Do. Both these GR players are isolated, so the solo duels can be taken, but BaiSha will win this one at least.
Yeah, that's I don't know if that was a miscommunication or that was just, you know, the call in the mid-round and a split-second decision from AG to say, you know, I think that was Shui, if I'm not mistaken, that went with the bomb and was just like, look, I'm going to try to go through window. I might be able to get through the other window and just get that plant through and try to be a little bit sneaky beaky, but that felt super risky for what they were trying to go for. But, you know, N9 was at the right place at the right time, able to find that double kill. And Do really put in a bad situation in that. Not sure if the risk was worth the biscuit, but it is for BaiSha fans, that's for sure. Now we pump the brakes just a little bit more. AG have really just, again, gonna have to just use this a little bit for more cleaning things up. And again, just getting those communications a little bit more crisp, I would say.
It's not really quite at that point where the alarm bells are ringing yet for BaiSha. 7 rounds, obviously the lead is there for AG, but they're not quite within striking distance of closing this map out. So as long as BaiSha can just kind of keep on winning here, slowly but surely claw that scoreline back. They don't put their backs against the wall just yet.
I definitely agree with you. Like, this shouldn't, AG should not be in the position of panic. This definitely is not a scoreline where you're like, okay, hang on.
Well, I mean, it's both sides, really. Like, still a bit of work to do here for AG. Leah, though, missing that shot. That's going to be crucial. YDSS still trying to jump up onto the box. It's fantastic work again from 577. And Do is just definitely not expecting YDSS there. After the way that 577 was playing, he goes charging out in the box room and loses his life. So overall, a favorable enough exchange for BaiSha as they get one more, courtesy of Xiao. Now AG may be starting to get a little bit worried that this retake or return or this comeback, I guess, can happen. Maybe ZQ can conjure a bit of magic here. He's seen the head of YDSS. He's going to try and make it happen, but he's going to put himself in a crossfire that he's unaware of. So 7-4, BaiSha, 2 on the trot here, starting to feel a little bit more comfortable. And AG called attack timeout. They want to unsettle that.
And I don't blame them. I think that this is a good time for it. I mean, the scoreline does still have a little bit of padding onto it. This is where AG.AL, they can get themselves, you know, this again, we got to tighten the things up here. Some of the screws are a little bit loose. This is let's not ride on something that's this wobbly, right? I mean, this is where comebacks can happen. This is where BaiSha are kind of, you know, really hoping for an opportunity like this. And this is where BaiSha now, I feel like, yeah, you know, we talk about CROSSFIRE being such a high momentum game, and like all it really does take is that 1-2 rounds in a row that really does kind of pick up a lot here. So I'm actually all in favor for all gamers calling this. I think it makes complete sense.
BaiSha looking pretty locked in though.
And you know, I know we talked a lot about this, but it still is important because even with the history of the 10-2 and 10-2, if we get to this situation, if BaiSha finds a way to pull into this game and to win this map, you know, is that it? Like, is that enough out of AG that the wind is out of the sails? Because when you have a big lead like that, there's all this emotional drain, it's the mental drain, like there's all these variables you have to worry about. So when you're in like a power position like this and you let it slip, I'm not saying that's the case, but if it does get there, that's when I start to really worry for all gamers.
I would definitely be concerned for all gamers if they lost this map. Obviously, you know, we'll be going into BaiSha's pick next. So that'll see us onto Eagle-Eye. That'll be a big problem, but just a little bit of a ways away from that one. Leah going to change up his position, playing long this time around, sends a shot off. Misses it obviously and now has to back away as a result. So a little bit of map control, bit of territory being taken early on by AG. They're not too eager to explore up long yet. Knowing that they've pushed BaiSha away is a small win already.
Yeah, it's definitely a good play. Just again to making sure that defense isn't getting this map control. They're the ones that have to be active. They're the ones that have to be able to do something. So AG do get that opening duel. AG.AL is going to be removed from this. So they still have the sniper here for Leah, but the question is, where does Leah want to play? Was actually playing towards just on green truck, now is kind of repositioning. You can see BaiSha, they've actually come up with a bit of a plan here. So N9 really is an inkling on a potential of something, but this is pretty risky though, to be honest. It's playing pretty much essentially a retake if they don't go A.
You do have to take that risk when you're down a player.
That is true.
Doesn't look like AG are going to fall into the trap of going B. This could be the round that AG have been looking for, the straw that breaks the camel's back. It's been a decent defense so far from BaiSha, but all it is that's required is one round to start to get that momentum back for AG. And the setup of this round is looking really good for them. Free A site. Nice job from AG. Nice shot from Leah again. That could have been 4v4 for the retake, but not the case. BaiSha have to start making their way across all the meanwhile, being wary of middle. Bit of spam in there from 9, showing his experience. Easy kill onto Zhui. Back onto 4v4, but time ticking away. Shots need to be hit by BaiSha on the way through. 1 for 1 from the two snipers, but 577 and Leah have some space with that smoke. CY low, scared, sitting underneath that window. The shot's coming through with ZQ to try and hold on. Solo, he drops back down. Time a factor.
No way!
SS can't get it done. 8 and 4. AG will hold on by the skin of their teeth.
It looked so good for BaiSha too, right? They, like you said, N9 was able to get that easy spam kill in the middle. Then you saw that Do, he drops down from Cat, which was a really questionable play in my opinion. Like he felt like he was gonna get some big play, but he only got the one and done. But ZQ is able to save the day, putting himself at a 10-7, getting the double digits here in the score line. And now an 8-4, a 4-round buffer here for AG. They've been able to have some clutch moments here, Elfish, and I really do think that's got to make them feel good, right? I mean, I talked about the energy level. That is definitely going to just make them feel refueled and right back into a competitive best of 5.
Yeah, especially with the opener in this round onto 9 as well. It just doesn't seem like BaiSha can find a way to have a 5-on-5. That's obviously such a massive advantage for AG. Re-smoke though, on short, will keep them at bay for the moment. And there's Xiao that's over here on A this time around. It was Leah earlier. It's both the snipers holding A. Both the riflers over on B. Where does AG end up? They aren't committed to either site just yet. C4 in transition in middle. 2 just spotting outside of B. It does look like an A finish here with the progression up long from 1-2-2-2. Who's going to keep all those defenders honest over on B with the util that he's going to toss in here. Smoke and a flash. Should mean that the rotation does not come through, but AG actually going to call to go back over to B, and then Do gets picked. So this round's starting to get a bit awkward.
Yeah, this I don't love how, again, AG are not really trying to, again, progress through the map. They're really just taking a lot of time and being stuck in the mud a little bit. And it kind of giving an opportunity here for BaiSha to be able to find some of these duels. Now they're starting to get things activated a little bit better. Within, what, few seconds, we see them just load the kill feed. Xiao does actually deny the plant, but now it's all down to him here for the 1-on-3. This should be over. Should be over. Okay, it will be.
I was about to say winnable for Xiao.
Yeah.
I've seen him do it before.
Uh-huh. Thinking the exact same thing.
Spacing was good enough for those two AG players coming out of box room. So 9 now for AG as they're 1 round away from securing Black Widow. Map 1 and Map 2 have been really non-competitive. BaiSha are going to try something a bit different. They go quickly out of B and try and take that fight to AG already. Having lost 577, who's been somewhat of a standout. 9 should be traded down here. Lucky to be alive at the moment. 1-2-2-2. Sticking around for the fight, and Xiao is also here. Trying to reinforce this. Feels like a bit of an overstretch, an overreach from 1-2-2-2, but he'll survive.
Yeah, no snipers available right now for AG2, so this is just going to be all rifles. 5 HP remaining here for 1-2-2-2. So this puts BaiSha in a little bit of an advantage situation for some degree, but and 9 does have himself in a prime position here. Really good, little bit of an off angle. Is he going to get cleared? Does get spotted. Double player commit from BaiSha. Waiting things out along. Now regrouping and changing up and mixing up this defense a little bit more. AG are still working the clock. They're trying to figure things out. YDSS in a position that he absolutely needs to get these kills. It needs to be careful about it, but AG, they have really just hit the E-brake and they are not moving.
Which is surprising because you'd think they want to close this one out. But similarly, they don't want to make a mistake and have this linger on any further. It's going to be a long BO5. There's a lot of work to be done today. ZY is going to drop. IDSS got to be getting traded down right here. 1-2-2-2. He's able to get 9. They still know that they've kind of got YDSS trapped here. Leah's going to work his way out of the box room just to reinforce that position. Shui did not want to peak. He's the one holding the bomb, so he kind of has to leave the rest of this job up to his teammates, and wisely done from him. It's going to put AG in a stable position here, but only 20 seconds left to work with, and Leah tucked on the side.
Oh, this is good.
Yeah, it's not exactly the angle that you're going to check, especially with the rotation coming across. AG have to be perfect. Xiao in the window. They're not checking the angle. Shui, luckily, gets it done in time, and Xiao will try to deny the bomb plan, but can't. That is that. 10-4, and all gamers will secure map 2. So we are at least going to go to map 4 here in the BO5. It wasn't quite as clean as the win that BaiSha was able to get, but you'll take it. Well, I now 1-1 in yet another best-of-5 grand final between AG.AL and BaiSha.
Yeah, it's really great to just see for all gamers, right? I mean, the fact that they were able to use that little bit of a break from the stompage that we got on map number 1 and just getting back into the winning formula, the way that they're able to play. That's what we were talking about here so far in the semifinal, where we saw them being a lot more active. They were starting to get some good duels in their favor. Their star players were just finding the right duels and getting those multi-kills that was required, but it's a good little bit of work from AG, and now BaiSha. I mean, look, it wasn't the best performance tactically, and also kind of felt like, to me, the firepower wasn't nearly the same of what we saw from map 1. It really just felt like there was these little glimpses of it. We saw these kind of like quick moments, but it really just wasn't the same with someone like, you know, YDSS or 577, where, again, they put up monster numbers in the very first map.
It's funny how different a map change can make, really, isn't it? You know,
yeah.
It just completely fell apart for BaiSha in that break, and AG turned it back on. I do think there was a couple of instances where BaiSha kind of made life difficult for themselves in the first half. Had they had probably another 2 or 3 rounds out of that first half, which felt very doable, this would have been a far more competitive map. But end of the day, you know, you miss those kinds of opportunities, and your opponent, if it's a really strong opponent, which in this grand final it will be, is just going to run away with things. So credit to AG for keeping the mental strong. But now it's time for BaiSha to show us just how strong their mental can be, because they'll be taking a break here and working on things as well. So lots to talk about as we head in towards map 3, which will be Eagle-Eye.
Level up your gaming experience with over 8 billion playlists, only on Spotify, the official audio streaming partner for the 2025 Esports World Cup.
I know this world can get a little bit crazy. Everybody's moving so fast. That ain't the way it's supposed to be. There's a better way for you and for me. Everybody's hustling, all the wheels in motion. Where's everybody going to? That ain't the way to be living life. There's a better way starting tonight. Don't rush it, baby, don't rush it, girl. You got to slow down, baby, slow down. We can just embrace and let time slip away and let the world fade. Baby, slow down. I know the boss man got at you watching the clock. Gotta keep working for the man. There's so many better things we could do, like you kissing me and me kissing you. Don't rush it, baby, don't rush it, girl. You got to slow down, baby, slow down. We can just embrace and let time slip away and let the world fade. Baby, slow down. Ooh, you can spend the night, baby, together, taking it nice and slow. Don't rush it, baby, don't rush it, girl. We can just embrace and let time slip away and let the world fade. Baby, slow down. Don't rush it, baby, don't rush it, girl. You got to slow down, baby, slow down. We can just embrace and let time slip away and let the world fade. Baby, slow down. I gotta get out.
The scoreline is poised at 1 apiece here for the grand final of EWC CROSSFIRE, and it would indicate that we are going to get another legendary grand final between AG.AL and BaiSha, as we have seen so many times in the past. But quite a lot riding on this match, not just the $2 million prize pool here at the EWC CROSSFIRE, $750,000 of which will go to the winner of this very match, but also the Club Championship is still in contention for all gamers, and they want to leapfrog themselves up into top 6.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a definitely a big opportunity here for AG.AL. You know, if they can be able to climb that would be really great. But that is the factor that they have to win this, right? I mean, this is the factor that they have to win the CROSSFIRE aspect of it, making sure, like you said, leapfrog probably the best way to talk about it, because if they can, then I mean, look, that's not a bad chunk of change.
Yeah, so a win here for AG.AL not only would net the players individually, obviously a large portion of the prize pool for CROSSFIRE, but also an extra $500,000 on top of that for the organization for AG, assuming they would jump up into 6th over Gen G in the Club Championship ranking. So there's quite a bit to consider for AG, and obviously for BaiSha, well, you know, they kind of just want to get themselves a dub here as well. There's a lot for both of these two teams to be gunning towards, and we will be heading into our third map momentarily, where nothing is granted and everything is earned. As we can see there on the trophy, I tell you what, nothing is going to be granted in a best-of-5 final, and you are really going to have to earn it, because these games can last a long time. These are multi-hour marathons in some cases. Obviously, both teams have already played a best-of-3 today, so today is a big day. Today is a day of tenacity for both teams on the stage, and they've got to try and really pace themselves throughout this best-of-5.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and that's the thing where, you know, it's easy with best-of-3s because it only does take that 2-1 scoreline, but in this aspect, it definitely is about more of a grueling aspect where it can take a lot of time, and depending on how the games are going and the overtimes or anything like that, there's all these different things that can just extend it. And we always talk about, you know, teams that exert all the energy, and that's kind of where both these are veteran teams. Like, these guys have been through every situation that you can name, except for the fact that nobody has been crowned as an EWC champion yet. But the fact is that these guys have been able to play countless best-of-5s, and so they definitely know what they need to do. But it's just a question, can they execute the game plan? Can they really deliver it to being that first crowned champion here today?
Yeah, that's another good point. This is the first EWC CROSSFIRE event ever. No one will ever be able to take that away from you. You'll never not be the inaugural event champion if you do win this one. It'd be another accolade in the history book for either AG.AL or BaiSha, who, to be fair, probably don't need any more accolades. These two teams, again, like I've said, historically are the most storied teams in CROSSFIRE. They're meeting once again in another grand final. We are going on to AG.AL, and this is where we start to get a little bit deeper into the map pool. You know, we've kind of done away with the 2 best maps of each respective team, right? That's how it works in a BO5. You'd be putting your best foot forward. So obviously, BaiSha think, well, Kara was our best possible map, and AG think Black Widow was their best possible map. They put them as high up in the priority as they can in the veto. Now we're starting to get a little bit deeper in the map pool, a little bit, maybe a little bit messier, maybe a little bit closer.
Oh, wow.
As we get a very aggressive round out here from AG to start off their defensive side.
Yeah, they have no idea. I don't think they have any clue on this. I mean, really, if we saw that it was Zhui, I was going to say he needed to be the guy to kind of make some noise. He had to make that distraction a little bit.
Wait, what is this? Nine's just gone around the corner with a nade in hand. That is craziness from him. Zhui's found a double do in there as well to make a bit of magic happen, and he is going to fall. So fantastic start for AG. BaiSha, yeah, a little bit of sleep at the wheel in this round.
Yeah, it really was. It felt like, I got a little bit nervous in the sense that they allowed, player like 1-2-2-2 to be able to push into deep side into mid like that. It felt like they were able to, make a quick reaction onto it. But then again, like you said, Zhui able to put himself in a nice little bit of a double kill, and then Du able to find himself that as well. Now putting Zhao in a clutch situation with the 1-on-2 with a minute and 15 still remaining, and he does have that C4 in his back. So again, doesn't need to be overzealous on this. Can wait things out a bit more. Just going to try to see if AG make a bit of a mistake on this and over-peak it, and he can take full advantage of that situation, but they are not moving a muscle. They're going to allow him to go for the plant. But how do they react to this? How do they want to play this together? They do have a nade in the hand of ZQ if they want. Oh, he's got that intel now.
Yep.
Oh, he knows both are there.
He's seen both of them. Gonna eat some damage off of that grenade. Needs a quick scope right here. Du not going to give him that chance. Xiao trying to find the space that he can, but not going to be given over to him. And AG maintain the momentum from map 2 into map 3.
The one thing I really love about this pick, in my opinion too, is that, a very good map, statistically for BaiSha.
Right.
But the one thing I think that's been beneficial, which I'm sure they were able to do a lot of studying, is that when AG actually played this map earlier in the group stage, they got 10-3 by Stallions. Like, they did not have any success on it. They got just dumpstered on it, really. So we talked a lot about Stallions were able to accomplish here for EWC, making that top 4 statement, but that's got to feel good for a team like BaiSha that might are trying to do some anti-stratting, but I don't even know, but 1-2-2 can only get this 1 kill, and now the rifles are starting to make a bit more of a dueling factor, and now Zhao by himself on the 1-on-4, and surely they don't feed him here. They're trying to overwhelm him. Oh, this is awkward. This is bad.
You shouldn't be allowed to get away with that one. ZY caught on the reload. C4 has been dropped though, so Xiao still got a lot of work to do to try and catch that one up. I don't know if he knows that ZQ's here, but ZQ certainly knows he is.
No, I guess not. I thought he would have spotted his leg. I mean, it was really close, but yeah, like you said, as soon as he kind of turned away, I'm like, well, I guess not, but all right. Boy, oh boy. The action still unfolds, and we said going to be interesting to see how well AG can still bounce back. And like I said, I mean, getting 10-3 on this map earlier on in the group stage before they made that qualification.
I will give some credit though to Stallions. They were pretty good on this map. If I'm not incorrect, this was the map that they really took it to Evolution Power as well. Lost it in Golden Point. Yeah. So yeah, they've really taken it to a couple of the top name teams in this event. I think you can put that down a little bit more to Stallions being really good on Eagle-Eye. So much AG being bad as they doing pretty well for themselves here. Of course, that's probably exposed to them a couple of the things that need to be fixed, and those have been discussed, and we're in the grand final. Will not be a concern against BaiSha. There's another good opener from Du, who is having a map. That's a nice double from him. Goes for a little bit more. Might have been a little bit overzealous, and now a couple of individual aim duels being given back over to BaiSha that I'm going to take the control of this round away from the hands of AG. After such a stable start, to see it go this way is a little bit disappointing. I think AG could have been cleaner there. Dude doesn't need to keep on fighting.
Yeah, and it's a tough one. I think I would agree with you, but you know, I can understand from Deuce's perspective that he's like, look, he gets a double kill, he's feeling it, he thinks he's flowing, and
but that's where the discipline
exactly
is really important in a grand final like this, because look at how quickly this round just slips back away. This was a 5-on-3.
And it's now turned in favor for BaiSha, which really it shouldn't have. And now ZQ has to put up a pretty gigantic feat here where he has to get the clutch. Good reposition he's going to get on this, but no utility. It's all a gunfight. He might not know he's here. He might have been able to get some decent timing on this.
It was pretty quick.
He got the laces going. They're grouped up together.
Yeah, they're just going to play for the trade, which is not a bad shout at all, but both YDSS and Xiao are low, so this is doable for ZQ.
Wait, did he spot him?
I don't know if anyone's seen anybody just yet. Now ZQ's been spotted out. USP in hand. It won't matter. YDSS will finish him off. So BaiSha steal the round away from AG.
Yeah, and I do agree. Like, I think, you know, it's hard to just pinpoint onto somebody, but I feel like if you could have had that discipline and just felt a little bit better to play a little bit more conservative, that actually possibly could have changed the round here for AG, but that's a tough one. I can definitely understand it from Deuce's perspective. Like, he is putting himself in some good fighting form right now. He's starting to play quite well, but like you said, the discipline and has to be above top notch. It has to just be maximum scale here. So, but AG, we'll see what they can do a little bit differently to learn from their mistakes as the game goes on. But ZQ actually still kind of putting some pressure onto Long B here. Oh, does he actually want to commit to it? No, he's going to pull back. A 3-man commit here on the A site from AG. Does raise an eyebrow. I'm thinking if he wants to kind of commit to this peak, he looks like he's kind of jiggling for it. And he does get the better of it, so he bests Zhao. I was just thinking it was a matter of time before he went down. So now this gives AG the man advantage they want. They haven't been traded out yet.
They're going to continue to try to push the issue down long. I do like that proactivity from AG on the GR side, but it needs to be restrained. ZQ fighting solo over on the B long side of things, and Leah able to get 1-2-2-2, which means Shui is in a bit of a spot of bother, has to fight his way out of trouble and can't quite manage that. Lot of damage done though.
Yeah,
to the BaiSha members. I mean, look at all three of them super tagged up. Do here with the pistol in hand. He'll get a freebie. And ZY in there as well for another. They know where 9 is. He was last spotted by Do. C4 out in no man's land. So 9 hoping for an opportunity. Not quite going to get one just yet. And the forces of AG encircling him will finish it off comfortably. Big change of pace after map 1. Map 2 and 3 are looking quite AG-sided so far.
Yeah, and I love it too because you're seeing Do, he's talking a lot more. It just feels like he's getting into the right rhythm, how he can be able to play his game, and that was a lot of the conversation at the desk. It's just saying, you know, Do is always somebody that we talked about that is so scary as a sniper. And now he's starting to play back to that championship level form that we talked about years and years ago. Now in 9, maybe he's going to be able to catch this timing. Yes, he will. So now they slip through this. AG now, a little bit of a scramble here on the defense. Some nice aggression from M9. This is classic at 9. He loves to just get in the face and try to get the timing off guard, and is working nicely.
Yep, smoked off as well. AG aren't really going to be able to do anything about this retake at all. Eating some grenades as well. ZQ's down to a sliver of HP. Way tagged up. 1 for 2. AG actually starting to make this happen. It's an aggressive retake attempt before the bomb plan's even gone down, but they put Do in a winnable position. 1 on 2, can't catch Xiao. So it goes back and forth a little more so here on Eagle-Eye.
Just felt like he knew he was there. Like he just had full read of it. He's just spamming different corners, pre-firing everything, but yeah, unfortunately, you know, I'm just getting a little nervous in some degree that Do has to be this this almost like kind of one-man army in some retrospect, right? I mean, some players are definitely contributing, but he's sitting at a 7-2, and I feel like a lot of these kills he's been able to find in this game, they've been very impactful. N9 again, look what he's able to do. He might be able to find the timing. He just runs on in. He doesn't even care at all. They don't want to play disciplined anymore. They want to be off the chain.
I think that is sometimes when BaiSha does their best work, when they are playing confidently and on the front foot, that proactivity working out for BaiSha a couple of rounds in a row. You're right, AG need the riflers to step up. Duke can find the pick. He can't hold down a site on his own. See why. Give them a chance back in. What a shot. DQ saved. 2-on-2. May well be doable here for AG now. They need this to maintain control of the map, and they are slowly but surely getting there. CY now tasked with the 1v1, will miss the shot, and N9 finishes it off for BaiSha. So a much, much closer affair here on Eagle-Eye, as I sort of expected and alluded to. Once we get a little bit deeper into the map pool, neither team quite strong enough to just be dominant from the outset.
Yeah, exactly. But it just, you know, it just for AG, that's such a tough feat, because again, like, it was ZY that was able to put up some really good kills with the sniper. You know, I think that was a triple kill if I'm not mistaken. And then at 9, like on the other side of the coin, he was the one that was able to really just be the playmaker. And now BaiSha really have just kind of put an extra couple peppers in this meal. They want to make it a little bit more spicy. They've been playing a lot faster. They've been just trying to get this map control quickly. But on the same breath, same with AG, Najway's been able to push through this. Another aggressive control. Does BaiSha really get the right idea? Can they pass the sniff test of this? Are they going to know that he's close on to this? But oh man, he gets taken out, and BaiSha, they actually pan on top in this situation.
Yeah, a little bit messy, but get the job done in the end. Do with a forward hold here. YDSS was not prepared for that one at all. This is quite a chaotic map thus far. I think BaiSha really throwing a fox among the hen house, and AG kind of trying to do the same, trying to fight fire with fire. They are playing a pretty unorthodox round here as well. These forward fights are working out though. And 577, despite having taken so much map control and territory, can't really do anything with it because he doesn't have the C4. He's going to be given it. Oh, he's going to go have a look. Mid doesn't see anybody, no one there.
Yeah, he's just kind of, again, investigating a little bit here, but I don't love this setup from AG though, because they are a little bit spread thin. I mean, you're kind of committing one player on each site, having one just kind of extending a little bit. Like Do right now, you can see he's all the way pushed up. So this isn't that great because they don't have any info. Now, if ZQ joins Do, that's different to me, because then you can kind of clear things off and go the path together, do some exploration that way. But now 577, he's got a lot of footing here by himself. Oh. And that's a free site. It's a free plant.
Yeah, it's very doable here. I'm not such a fan of the way that AG have played this one. You could have just grouped up and held the C4. They have given him opportunities, and they don't matter.
Yeah. But it's true, though. I mean, really, when you're kind of basing it, like, it feels like AG could have, I think, played that a little bit better. But, I mean, thankfully, Do, once again, you know, say his name a few times and he's going to appear, because he was able to get a quick kill as soon as the ball went down. So it's kind of like a moot point. But that was definitely an opportunity where 577 could have gotten himself in a situation with the post plant. If he would have been able to get that reposition, to me, that is definitely more of a coin toss in that situation, despite them, you know, being the man advantage for AG.
Well, deep smoke from AG. BaiSha just going to completely disrespect it and walk their way into hotel anyway.
That's good. I like it. Disobey it. Smoke's making 1-2-2, kind of unsure maybe, but BaiSha do get this control if they want it. They're going to have that hotel. But they leave. It's a quick stay. A B&B. They don't want to be there. And off to new adventures they go. Oh, look at this commitment from AG. They have put 4 players at that B site. If BaiSha go now, they might have a chance, but that rotate's coming in quick.
Even if they would have gone there, Do so stellar on this map. You can't imagine he's going to let them in for free. That shot, though, will miss, and some space being taken by BaiSha. They're actually going to go back and forth around the map. Du's finished off by 9, who is still going to be looking for more alongside 577. The X Factor will be 1-2-2-2. He's around behind, and he's got himself a freebie. ZQ still managing to hold on to the site as well. There is still a way forward for all gamers in this round. 1-2-2-2 needs to really pick his timing well, and he needs to get involved to help ZQ out, or maybe ZQ can get it done himself.
Yeah, I guess so.
Gonna have to.
Yeah, and now 1-2, like, there was a lot of, needing him to go for the flank and hurrying things up, and now this is where AG.AL does have an opportunity with the time remaining. Go anywhere he wants. He can't wait too long. He does have to make that decision. ZQ is going to commit to this. He's going to hold his ground. He's not going to let go of it. He's going to risk this one. It's a 50-50 chance on this. AG.AL has actually been able to creep through. Does ZQ get the read? They spot each other, surely.
Yeah, 100% they've spotted each other with 20 seconds left here. BaiSha has no option but to commit to the A site and the A fight, and that's going to work out. AG.AL gets it done. Big clutch.
That's a gigantic clutch. That's a little bit of a slip here from AG. And let's not forget, that was a really strong half that was happening, and now it's fallen to the wayside a little bit on this one. AG, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that was a 4-1 at one point, 3-1 at least, but now things are back to an even Stevens.
Yeah, this has been a much, much more back and forth map. It's hard to draw a line in the sand between these two teams and say this one's better than the other. Obviously coming down to a couple of clutches as well. And that, I think, will be a big deciding factor in how this best of 5 plays out. Individuals that can step up at important times certainly going to be needed in a grand final like this one. BaiSha making some decent space. They'll now take that fight to 1-2-2-2 as the forward holder on the B-bomb side. He's getting the info. And a bit of assistance on its way. ZQ coming across. They're going to try to recontest. Yeah, 1-2-2-2 up onto the top of the stairs. BaiSha, again, not pulling the trigger.
No, they really just trying to check things off here. They're just kind of holding things through. I'm never a big fan of teams that kind of just wait things out because you're not being active. You're not really clearing things out. You're really just kind of clustering in on this, and now at 9, it doesn't even matter. You get this guy a rifle, he's able to just clear things up on his own. And now AG on a retake scenario, you have someone like Jue that's coming in from all the way in the back lines, and he's often going to go for a sprint here. He can't wait. He has to go. He needs to get there quick.
Yeah, AG might have needed to have been a little bit more active earlier on in the piece. This is going to be too little too late. He may get the freebie onto AG.AL, who thinks he's cleared out behind him. But unless those two players retaking the site do work, well, then it won't matter. But of course, as you can see, the kills are coming through for AG. Du gets a double. Jue's in there as well. Now it's onto Leah trying to hold solo, but in fact, again, maybe Jue just a little bit too late. He pulls out the peak from Leah, who doesn't quite hang on long enough. The defuse is going to come through. AG are going to win the round.
Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. Again, you just see these quick kills, and it's like AG just load the kill feed in their favor, and then BaiSha just, they like flick the switch and they just put on this clutch mode situation where they just pull through these just random situations where they're almost able to make it in their favor. But a 5-4 ends the first half. We switch things over, so AG are able to get themselves the lead, but man, it was grueling, and man, it was very tough here, and BaiSha made it very difficult. This scoreline definitely does not paint the picture here for Eagle-Eye. This is, without a doubt, it could have been a totally different scoreline with these clutches and how this game's been going.
Yeah, 100%. Really could have been one way or the other. But that's the nature of the beast. That's the nature of these grand finals. Done a number of them, and you can probably name a couple of the more important clutches here and there. throughout the history of CROSSFIRE in grand finals such as this one. It's a $400,000 game, this one. Difference between first and second. You think about what the value of each clutch might be.
Oh, man.
$50,000 per clutch.
Yeah, it's not bad.
100,000. I don't know how many clutches do you reckon there is over the course of a BO5.
I ain't doing the math live here. This is
maybe 10.
No, I'm not doing it. You're not making me do it. But it's a lot of money.
That'll be $40,000 a clutch if there's 10 clutches.
Okay, well there you go. That's quick math here for Elfish guy. Not bad at all. This round is just weird. This is just.
It is a little bit. It's a little bit chaotic. The positions that have been taken. AG though, not going to be too disappointed with the fact that they have control of the B bomb site right now, and they've managed to find the equalizing and in fact favoring frags now with YDSS and 577 tasked with a clutch. He gets his timing right. Yeah, gets that's a triple freebie into the side of YDSS, and is going to put AG with their noses pretty significantly in front. More significantly than what we've seen so far throughout this map. If they get a 2-round lead, that's about as good as it's been. And that'll instantly mean the tack timeout from BaiSha. So first round in the half does come through. Tack timeout here will be called. I mean, I'm assuming it's from BaiSha, but obviously being down 6 and 4 is going to be a cause for concern for them.
Yeah, confirmation that it is BaiSha calling it, which makes, again, a lot of sense. Look, I mean, I feel like at this moment, I feel like I keep talking about him, but look, like I feel like for BaiSha, the conversation has to be, like some of the positions have been a little bit questionable at times, but I feel like the basic thing is, how do we shut down Do? How do we not allow him to run around getting these doubles, getting these triple kills? Because if I'm not mistaken, he's sitting himself in a position right now where he's 17 and 5. Like the guy is just putting up a masterclass performance right now for this third map. So if BaiSha can find a way to use this timeout and say, look, this is what we need to do to remove Do so that he doesn't just do what he's been doing, that could be the winning thing. That could be this big, factor, the X factor in this situation. But that's not an easy thing to do. I feel like Do has been doing a great job, like running around the map, playing many different spots. Like he's been trying to be spontaneous, and that's perfect. Like when you're playing the way he is and being the sniper like that and not versatile, it is the best thing. But BaiSha and N9 need to figure that out right here and right now.
Bit of a conference amongst the team, you can see, going back and forth. Similar to what I said about BaiSha on Ankara, sometimes someone's just having one of those games and there's not really much that you can do about it.
That's a good point.
Do is getting away with a lot. I mean, he's 17 and 5. He is a hard carry player when he's on. We've got 9 also performing, 14 and 9. So 2 of the big names, 1 for each respective team, putting in work. AG getting a little bit more out of their carry player at the moment. Change up here from BaiSha with 3, even almost 4 players stacked on A. They've really got to read that AG may be headed A in this round. And it's actually not going to do any damage, but it will further reinforce to BaiSha that AG are interested in A.
Yeah, and we've seen that sniper duel all the way down long A like that, where it's it's been Zhao and also Do, where they kind of go this back and forth a little bit. But I think Do is actually bested Zhao a few times on this, but you can see they were both almost close for going that shot. Like it was just, if Zhao would have just made a little bit of a shuffle in his position, that could have been that little bit of a duel to happen, but nothing yet. Still lost at sea here for both these teams, and a lot of time has been thrown away on this one, but oh, look at this aggression from N9. Oh, you sneaky devil, you. And now he's been able to find himself in a prime spot.
I find it so ironic that the sign there says win $50 when they're playing for $750,000.
Yeah, let's multiply that by a lot.
Here comes 9. Cheeky little push from him. You did say earlier he likes to get involved, and he does. That's certainly true, but he's going to have to do a bit more as the A side is starting to crumble. BaiSha's defense not good enough this time. They got the opener from 9, but they just could not hold the other side of the map.
Yeah, it just feels like, as soon as they got that opening duel, that they felt like BaiSha was like, okay, this is where we go, this is where we do something, but AG just held their composure. They didn't really get too reactive on that. So them holding their positions allowed them to be in this great position of the 3-on-1, make it down to the 2v1, but now YDSS, a retake needed here for the A site. No more utility, he has nothing to work with except for the M4, or the M14. Now, warning shots here for Dew. Dew just gonna hold the tight angle, and man, this guy with the USP, you name a better combo?
Not on this map.
Yeah. I feel like he's got to, like, I'd love to pull that stat if we ever could here, because I really do think that Dew, throughout the series, clearly the best USP player, but I am almost kind of wanting to put it on the line, like, throughout the tournament. Like, I've never seen someone just get so many pistol kills than him. Truly.
Xiao's had a lot. I mean, it makes a lot of sense that the snipers would be the ones that are having to pivot over to their sidearm in a lot of cases, but it is such a powerful weapon, and like, it's just so good. A lot of players have been utilizing it well. Again, another opener for AEG. This is starting to get a bit out of control for BaiSha. 9, again, taking matters into his own hands. I think he needs to press forward. He needs to continue to try and find these fights, and he does well to get 2. He's got to look at the rest of his team now to pick the scraps up in this round. You know, it can't just be 9. He is pulling off a monumental effort on this map, and it doesn't seem to be enough.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Like, again, you have, like, you know, a player like Leah, you talked about being an MVP before, not really performing in the fragging department as well as 577. Like, let's not forget what he was able to do on the second map. And the fact that these guys have, you know, it's sitting at 5 apiece, it really does make a difference. And that is the one thing about N9 that is so exciting, like him being an IGL and a veteran and a massive champion, is that it doesn't really matter. He's going to play every single position. He's going to be the one that just still goes for all these big gunfights. And he does it well. Like, it's not even like he's just sacrificing himself. There's always a big probability he's going to be able to win it. See if that's even the case here for BaiSha now.
2 very quickly goes back the way of AG. So just as you get a little bit of hope for BaiSha, it is ripped away from them unless Leo can do something pretty impressive here. He's got to work his way through the smoke. 1, 2, 2, 2. What is he called? That was crazy. I'm at a loss, but it's worked out.
I'm with you. I'm very much with you. I was just
full sent it into a smoke.
I know. My jaw was hitting the floor. I was like, what are we doing?
Winning the round, mate.
Well, I guess so, but I mean, that turned into a situation that shouldn't have happened. Thankfully, ZQ in that position, you can see it right there in the replay. Just good reaction, but boy, oh boy.
Boy, Dew's just got no idea that 9's going to play aggressive in this round, and I think now AG's getting that info, going to have to start to set themselves up like a turret. Which way will catch 577, but 9 is going to continue to press forward. He's got quite a lot of space here in middle.
That's a nice kill earlier on here against Dew. So sniper threat is gone. And I talked about how does BaiSha find a way to take him out? Well, that's going to do. So can they use that to get them back into a round favor? Because let's not forget, this was a 5-4 half here for AG. BaiSha have not been able to find a singular round here. It's been all gamers all day long. See what I did there?
Well, it actually has. You're right.
Look at this. This setup from BaiSha.
There's so much space being given to AG, isn't it?
Yeah. With the cluster of players in the site. Oh, it's going to be the right read, though.
It is, but they still need to hit their shots, and that has been a bit of a problem for them throughout this map so far. AG have just been better. YDSS up close behind the smoke. He's not going to get anything. I don't know how both 9 and YDSS go down essentially for free there, but they do. And it's now a 1-on-3 for Xiao, who was isolated away in middle, just holding down the flank. Now he's got a big responsibility on his shoulders, trying to stave off map point. Won't quite be series point, of course, yet, because there's another map to play regardless, but this map has not gone well for BaiSha, and the momentum certainly still with AG. Map 2 was clean. It's looking like map 3 is also going to be clean. And BaiSha, it feels a long way away from a grand final victory, and certainly a long way away from what they were doing on map 1.
Yeah, and I think I wish we were able to capture it though, but I was wondering though, for YDSS, he was the guy that was their first point of contact. He was the one that was kind of watching that B ramp, and that smoke was there, and actually you could see that all gamers kind of went around it, but I don't know if he was blind or he misheard it, because the fact that they were able to cross beside him, get into that stairway, that's where N9, you could see his like angle, he was like, he wasn't even ready for it. Like he thought YDSS was going to be able to find it, but he didn't. So that really did kind of allow all gamers to get onto the map point. Again, just a small detail, but it just pans out very, very nicely. And that's a mistake that, I feel like I haven't really been able to criticize BaiSha for a lot of mistakes in the entire tournament, but that's a big one though.
A bit of toing and froing to start this round off. Both teams tossing some util back and forth. AG not really utilizing their smokes here though, have they? They've put a deep smoke in mid and a smoke up for progression on B. Now starting to make their way into hotel. Actually dissuaded by a flash, and I don't know, maybe seen something, maybe someone else on the A side of the map called the rotation in, because there wasn't really much there that would indicate that AG should cancel that B hit. Yeah, they have, and it seems like it's going to work out. ZY, this time with an opener. Leah looking strong for the shot through the smoke, but again, you just look at the kill feed and it lights up in the favor of AG. That is that in the blink of an eye. Again, another round goes their way. 10-4 on map number 3. The scoreline now 2-1, and AG go clamoring towards another international victory. They need one more map on this journey. Again, best of 5. It will still give another opportunity over to BaiSha Gaming. There'll be at least one map in this series, lads, and who knows where we'll go. Here we go, all the way.
Yeah, I guess this is the thing, is where, this was BaiSha that went for the pick of this map. I mean, this was the one that I kind of wondered if they thought that they were able to pick up some of the mistakes that AG made against Stallions on this map, but it feels like AG, they were the ones that were able to play their game. They were the ones that were able to, essentially, as they got into that second half, it was full steam ahead. I mean, it was a 5-4 first half, and then it felt like AG were just able to run away with it. But now that we get to move on to Compound, like you said, this just puts AG in a really good position that they could potentially close this thing off, and they can finally get themselves the taste of gold.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite eager to see whether or not AG can keep this momentum, because I do find them typically to be a very consistent team. I mean, the way that I would describe the two teams is BaiSha, they have the higher peaks, but AG, I think, do bring a better level on a more consistent basis, and that may be all that's required, BaiSha, they came out of the gate so strong, they had their individuals popping off, but now feeling like it's a little bit too few and too far between, and maybe that base level coming through from AG is going to be enough, unless BaiSha can dig deep in this, sort of break between Game 3 and Game 4. These teams are so familiar with one another. So, I don't know. I'm still not ready to crown AG just yet. I want to give BaiSha one more chance, and I think they're definitely keen for that chance as well. We'll take a short break here before heading into map number 4 and see if BaiSha can make a comeback happen.
Lately, I feel I can't find my feet. Pushing closer, my heart skips a beat, and now I'm falling. Deeper than I fly, I can't control it. Dark against the sky, it's not so black and white. It's like I told him. There's things that I can't fight, I just can't.
AG.AL are one map away from that $750,000 prize and the trophy and 1,000 club points here at the Esports World Cup CROSSFIRE. There's certainly a lot on offer, and they do seem like they're the team to beat at the moment. Last BaiSha came out the gates so strong on map number 1, but maps 2 and 3 have been actually quite comfortable victories for all gamers, and they're a team that once they get going, they're pretty hard to put away. So all eyes are pointed towards BaiSha after that break to see whether or not they can recover some of that momentum that they had on map 1.
Yeah, it really does feel like, you know, this is a good path, and the conversation that AG.AL might be able to have themselves back into a championship form. But like we talked about, it's a best of 5. It's a situation where anything can happen. The fact that I do like here for, you know, the aspect of AG fans is that you win the map pick against BaiSha with, honestly, pretty much ease. Like I said, it was a 5-4 first half where it's still in favor for AG, but let's not forget, like, they won it clean sweep. Like, as soon as they got to switch things over, when they were on the BL side, BaiSha had zero response. They were able to make rounds close. They were able to get themselves in some okay situations, but they could not find the win factor. So now the question can be, with that break that we've had, can BaiSha be able to bounce back into this, or do we finally get to see the EWC champion here today and right now?
I'm just kind of wondering, when will Nine run out of steam, because he's been pretty good throughout this grand final so far, and sooner or later, you know, he's got to have a bad map. The thing is, though, lads, actually, if you go back in the annals of history with CROSSFIRE, we are moving on to Compound, and that is the map that Nine was almost infamous for. I remember watching so many maps of Compound at CFS events, BaiSha playing, and Nine would be dropping like 20+ kills every single time. It just seemed like he had this like intuitive sense. You know, you sometimes associate a certain player with a certain map, and for me, Compound, it was Nine, and he just popped off every single time I watched it. So I wonder if he can do that again, and if he does, will that be enough to dislodge the stability that AG have brought to the table? I don't know that it will be, right? I think we're going to need a little bit more out of some of the other members here on BaiSha. Well, it's time to find out, as indeed we are headed toward Compound. A lovely satellite in the background.
Picking up all the receptions and signals. But yeah, it is a good question, because, you know, I think we saw for Eagle-Eye, it was really a Nine that put himself in a lot of the fights. He was the guy that was trying to, you know, pick up some slack. He was trying to wear the backpack with the extra couple weights, but it just wasn't enough. But now maybe can he do it here? A map that historically he's been able to do, we don't know, but we will find out. And now we'll see. It's a big moment of truth if this thing can be the 3-1, or we go the absolute full distance of this best of 5 here at EWC. But BaiSha going to be on the GR side. When these guys last played each other, you know, back in CFPL, it was AG that were able to get themselves a 10-7 victory on this map. So that does not fully paint the picture, but it does kind of give you a little bit of an appetizer of, you know, we know they play each other all the time, but AG, like, it is going to feel good.
Yeah, that was in the upper bracket final, right?
It was, yes.
They didn't actually play it in the grand final. So, I don't know, we'll see. But shout out Carl one time. We were talking about the map a little bit earlier on in the green room, and he said the meta on this map is the blacklist side sits in mid for a little bit. And that's exactly what's happened. AG take mid. And it's been smoked a couple of times by BaiSha. AG happy to just wait that out. And now, as the timer starts to tick away in the round, they will look for a little bit of map control. 1-2-2-2 over by Pillars. Just spotting to see whether or not there's going to be any push coming through from BaiSha. They've been able to set up Do here. Or a bit of a progressed line at A long. I would say this looks like a pretty good setup to try and make an A split happen. You know, have your riflers go in through mid, have Do just watching the A long line. Make sure that no one from BaiSha can back off into that safe space. Find out what the optional choice is going to end up being here for AG as they go pushing their way into mid. Clear out towards GR side, flash through there as well over towards B to try to draw the rotate, and they've been successful. This has been an awesome take from AG. That works out perfectly. ZY gets the one entry that they need. The rest of BaiSha have been pulled away by the util and now have to try to retake the site 5 on 4, and that is never going to be an easy task. 577 battling his way forward, some damage being done. Do and ZQ both falling, and in fact the exchange is favorable for BaiSha. Zhui on the forward line needs to get a quick kill in here. Maybe ZY can do it, but it doesn't look like he's in a position of any real agency. In fact, he decides he's going to jump up and take the fight himself, but 577 will secure it. And AG will be disappointed with how that round has played out. They had all the eggs in the basket, and they've been smashed by BaiSha.
They really have. And the one thing that really interesting in terms of the weapon composition is that, you know, for BaiSha is that they have all these M14s, is that you can just play this situation where you can just kind of play the different angles, you can just kind of spam throughout the site, and that's exactly what we saw, right? There was, I think, 2 or 3 players from BaiSha that were just spamming different, you know, the cubicles. They were just trying to clear everything out, and it actually did work out nicely. And I think it was actually 577 that was able to find the first, then his teammate was able to get that second kill, so not too shabby. But things are looking a little less shabby here for BaiSha as they go on a bit of a trek here, Elfish. They try something different here through long A. Back to the old analysis desk of sitting in mid.
That's it, mate.
Just hang out.
Take mid control. See what happens. For about a minute or so. And then you have to do something.
Then you're forced.
Yeah. I'd be quite interested to see what a map rework would look like for Compound in the same way that maybe we got one for Mexico. I think New Mexico's, at least to me, far better than the previous version of Mexico. I think there's been a lot of positive changes to that map.
Absolutely.
I think Compound will be next on the list.
Yeah, I definitely would be in favor if this map was able to get a little bit of a rework. There's some little modifications to mix things up just a little bit more. We'll see. Never know. AG now. Ooh, IDSS. Oh, yeah, I was going to say, is he going to jiggle it or is he going to commit? And he does commit, so.
Gets deleted by Do. AG not going to commit to the A side off the back of that, though. He has been tagged down as well by 1-2-2-2-2. The grenade's not quite going to go deep enough. With 45 seconds left on the clock, AG are not really showing much of an indication as to where they want to end up here. They are going to smoke off 9. It's going to be another mid push. But, you know, you could go A or B here, really. Kind of depends on where the entries get hit. So I think AG, again, are going to just call that in the mid-round, depending on what's working or what's not. There is a creep forward from 1-2-2-2 over towards B. He's had some success over there, but the commitment is toward A, and 9 making the difference here until Do arrives, but he can't get 577. And now 1-2-2-2 has to just go scurrying over towards A and see if he can try to find 577, but you're right. He will not have any impact as 577 escapes and survives, and the round will go the way of BaiSha.
Yeah, and honestly, it just comes down to me like that, you know, we're seeing these mistakes of clearing the site. Like it was N9 that plays in that kind of that L hall where he likes to just play with the rifle, and AG were kind of committing to it, but they only half did it. Like they just cleared like partially of the corner, but N9 was just sitting on the other side waiting, and if they would have swung out just a little bit more, they would have been able to find that kill. But when they ran away, N9 was able to get a double kill. Like he was able to find the 2 in the back, and that's just a really silly mistake, and it just, again, just neutralized the game plan for AG, which that should have been their round. It was a perfect execute considering up to that point.
Yeah, 2 rounds in a row, it's looked like AG have made the right call or hit the right side or had the correct start to the round and just have not converted on it. Which is something that we said kind of about BaiSha in the second map, which was Black Widow, right? They had a couple of good sort of starts to rounds and just weren't able to convert on them. And you know, it's not the kind of thing that you really want to see happening too much, because that opens the door back up here for BaiSha. It lets the inroads back in. AG have to kind of nip that in the bud pretty quickly. Lest we start to see some momentum go back the way of BaiSha, and 5-7-7, 4-0. He could be the one to make this happen.
Could be him. Not just N9 picking up a lot of the work like I talked about. Now, you know, a big fragger like it, or 5-7-7. It's had a phenomenal time here in the tournament. Him and YDSS were definitely, you know, some really good spotlights for both these players. Joined with N9, so not to take anything away from the rest of the squad here for BaiSha, but definitely those guys stick out to me. But now AG back to mid control, just getting overwhelmed with utility, and look at CY, like his screen is white, like he doesn't know where to go right now.
Yeah, can't see a damn thing. AG going to work their way into GR spawn and try and find the entries that they need, but those are feeling few and far between here. YDSS and 9 too strong in this round so far. Leah will be overwhelmed on B. The C4's been left in GR spawn, and that is enough of a cause for concern for the AG coach to call for the tack timeout here, I imagine. And this round not done and dusted just yet, but it's more than likely going to go the way of BaiSha. DQ down. That is 3-0, and it's time for AG to have a chat.
Yeah, very much needed. And I'm glad AG does decide to call it right here, right now, because it feels like they were, again, doing the right things in the beginning, and now it seems like things are really slowing down, and they got to slow down this momentum here for BaiSha, because they're picking up these rounds pretty much a lot more convincingly. It feels like they're starting to get in the right groove that they need to. And now AG, like, we haven't been able to see, you know, really being able to find, you know, the sniper abilities of getting that opening duel. We haven't been able to see, you know, Jouet being able to find the entries that we saw before. 1-2-2-2, like, again, an MVP player in CFPL where, I think, like I said, it was like 15 or something. Like, just so many ridiculous MVP statuses. You need to hear. Like, it almost just feels like AG needs to just need to exert everything now. Like, they're at the point where they get this map, they're done. Like, there really is no holding back.
Music almost sounds like a heartbeat.
Yeah, thought it was my heart for a second. I was like, you know, I've had a lot of coffee. I'm like, is this bad or what's going on here?
It's beating pretty quickly.
It is, yeah.
I suppose if you are AG, yeah, that might be just how quick the pulse is, because they are not that far away from walking away with the trophy, but maybe it's kind of blowing up in their face over the next 20-30 minutes or so on this map. We'll see whether or not this tack timeout can make a difference. It is a GR-sided map, so we'll keep that in mind, but not the start that AG would have wanted. And it's going to be a bit of a grind to close this map out from here, I'm sure. Once again, mid-control will be the name of the game for AG, and they take that easily. There's no contest from BaiSha so far for any kind of aggressive mid-hold. It's getting past this sort of brackets area that becomes a bit of a problem. Nice crossfire for BaiSha.
Yeah, this is different. It's a nice readjustment here for the defensive side. AG. A lot of thought process into this. Smoke's going to get thrown. That's going to be a deep smoke that's going to land right in front of B door. Does kind of create a little bit of a lurk opportunity if they want to go that way. IDSS though, he's by himself. Like, I don't love this now. Like, this is where 5-7-7 should be here, and he joins back with his teammate.
Yeah. IDSS though apparently doesn't need any help, because it's just CY that gets sent out in the mid, which is really surprising. I think if you're gonna send someone out window, you probably need to have another player or two go with him. VQ does a good job of wrangling back a kill there. That's a bit of a freebie to give up for YDSS. Now 9 for the fight over towards B. This is a very messy round from AG, all over the place. They're just taking individual duels. I don't like that at all. If that's what you're going to come up with after the tag timeout, I think that their BL side is going to leave a lot to be desired. Jouet, luckily, will win his fight, and they need a couple more of those to go their way if they want to win this round. C4 was spotted.
It's only 33 seconds too, so they can't mess around anymore.
Still go B here. AG.
But they got to go now.
Well, he's been able to get that bomb back out. The smoke's up here. 9 looking for it, but won't see anybody on that cross. BaiSha, though, preempting this move. 577 will be flashed out. Leah has to go ducking back as well. And all 3 AG players make it into B.
Yeah, that flash honestly just was saving grace here for AG. That allowed them to get the kill, but now can they get the post plant? BaiSha are just going to go through these waters, and now it's just down to the 1v1, and it's N9, and puts up a 4-0.
What did I say about N9 on this map?
Yeah, I know, you did.
He's 4 rounds in, he's 7-2, he's on his way to a 20 bomb, there's no doubt about that. It's just something about this guy and this map.
Yeah, it's just meant to be. It's the right shoe. Look, I mean, I definitely, I agree with you. I think the early portion of this round was, it was so scrambly. Like, it felt like AG they're doing one thing, they're backtracking, they're going to another way, they backtrack, and then they really just burn the clock, right? Burning the midnight oil a little bit on that one, and then the utility was decent. It allowed them to get some control on the map. That was a good thing to see. A moment of brilliance, but it falls short. But I can't take that away from BaiSha. They are playing a solid GR side right now, really. It's again, everybody is playing up to the standards they should be.
Yep. Just got to keep putting one foot in front of the other, BaiSha. They cannot afford to rest on their laurels. This AG team is definitely good enough to make a comeback happen on their own GR side. So just keep putting every single round on the board that's possible here. Make it as easy for yourself to close this map out as you can. Go to port. Map decider.
A lot of rotations happening right now for BaiSha, so this was something I gave a lot of kudos for AG earlier on here in the semis and getting to this point where they're on the GR side and they move. Now it's BaiSha that's doing it, which does mix things up. Cocktail is going to be a little bit different in AG. Getting a nice taste of a surprise on it. Less than a minute remain on this one.
Yeah, AG have really weighted down the timer again. Now starting to dump their util into middle. Similar kind of approach. It'll be a B split this time though. 9 spotting that out. Just going to back off. Leave the rest of that job over to Leah. Flashes in through mid into GR spawn. Is it a fake out? I don't know. It doesn't really matter. 577. Going to clean up all 3 as they try to work their way into GR spawn. And that was the C4 drop. So even if the rest of this entry works for AG, they are not going to have enough time to win this round. And 1-2-2-2. We'll just take the opportunity to have another 10 or 15 seconds of chatting. Everybody knows AG needs it.
Yeah, they really do. This is not a good sight to see right now. Like, I thought that AG, like, they were gonna be able to push a different boundary on this. I thought that this was their map pick and their BL side. There's just nothing here.
It's crumbling.
I don't get it.
Well, and this is the danger that I was sort of talking about at the start of this map where, AG made the right read twice in a row. Let's be real. Round 1 and round 2 should have been won by AG. As soon as you don't win those rounds, you start to second guess yourself. You start to, give a bit of momentum over to your opponents. They're feeling a bit more confident. You're losing confidence. And then it kind of ends up like this. And that's why it's so important to win those crucial rounds at the start. This could have been a completely different story. If AG gets off to a 2-0 lead, think about how that changes the course of this map and potentially this series. But that didn't happen, and now BaiSha are taking that opportunity and they are running with it.
They really are. I mean, and I know, like, this is a very poor BL side, statistically for AG, but I just didn't think it'd be a 5-0 kind of a circumstance. But this so far has looked like a better round, but now Leah's been able to find it, and Zhao's right there to join him. The snipers singing a great lullaby, but they haven't been put to sleep yet.
ZQ, nice kill onto Xiao. Very important to be able to grab that C4 back, but 9 has a fast flank. ZQ not expecting that one though. Jump spot, we'll give it away. What a shot onto
Can't
Doom.
believe it.
How is 9 able to do it? Once again, Well, now it's onto the veteran of ZQ. See if he can give the first round over to AG. Has now been spotted out. Quick kill onto Leah. And he maintains most of his HP.
Remains low.
These are two of the most experienced players in the game on either side of this clutch, and 9 is taking it slowly. He's trying to fake ZQ out, make him think he's on the flank. ZQ certainly is thinking about that as a possibility as 9 takes the opportunity to creep his way in onto A, but he has completely lost ZQ, and he has completely lost this round. It'll be the first one on the board for AG, unless ZQ, I don't know, somehow monstrously throws that round. I think it would be impossible.
I think it was. Really good though. Again, just like you said, ZQ was clearing up a lot of information. He was trying to just making sure he could clear up everything in his path, and I love that because with the repositions that just put N9 in a full guessing game, like he had no idea where he could have been. Now we see all gamers getting themselves back into this game with at least a round. It's just been bleeding, and now it's finally getting a little bit more of a stitch here and there, but can that be enough? Can that be something to turn this around for AG to get themselves something on this BL side when they just to lean into their stronger GR?
It needs to be more than just one, doesn't it?
It really does, and even the factor of again, AG winning it by to a 1v1.
Yeah.
Doesn't really give me confidence, or
no, definitely not. But if they can continue to work hard throughout the rest of this half, maybe get up to 3. Be a stable platform for them to work with. Flashes going everywhere at the moment from AG. They're trying to indicate that they're going B. In fact, they're going A. 577 only going to be good for 1. Xiao, nice quick jump up, gets himself one more, nearly loses his life, but holds on to maintain the player advantage. Do on the flank somehow has pulled one back. This is just a mess all over the place. It's a 2-on-3 post plant. 1-2-2-2 though. The forward smoke trying to play around that one. Was spotted out by YDSS and loses some of his important HP.
I like that he was trying to use that little bit of more of a lurky smoke, and he was trying to hug that right wall, but like you said, now he had to play more of a passive setup. They're getting tenderized here. They're getting caught with a lot of damage. They've been taking some bruises. Now ZQ gets spotted, him and M9, and this time it's going to be Zhao that's going to be able to find that 2-piece.
Nothing in that one again for AG. It seems like we are destined for a 5th map. BaiSha will not be denied on compound, apparently. They want their key to remain intact. They want their key to be put into the trophy. Only one key survives here at EWC CROSSFIRE.
That's true. Last key crushing to commence. Now we see AG with a 4-1 split, due back into the top tower. Rapunzel. Waiting things out one more time. A lot of second guessing. The thing I'm just so surprised about is not even clearing for generator control. They don't entertain it. They're kind of just on the outside. They're like, you know what, I don't want to go to this party. I want to go see 577 instead, and now that might be the wrong party, but now, maybe not. They've been able to pay the bouncer, and they get themselves in the door.
It goes back and forth, doesn't it? AG kind of going back to basics, just deciding to hit the A site with pace and brutality and trade down, and it's worked out for now. Take is still a conversation for Leah and YDSS, though they'll try and clean out the smoke here. They're not going to be allowed to. It has been re-smoked by AG, so YDSS is going to have to go through it. Time is coming into play. There's a flash for Leah to try and set him up, but it's YDSS that actually claims first blood. Oh, the spam through onto 1-2-2-2, and he knows exactly where Do is. It's not going to be enough. AG win another.
I love that from Do. Honestly, the fact that the timer was quite low, I love that he doesn't just overcommit on the swing. He realized, okay, look, it's probably going to be a fake. He's going to try to clear me out. Surely is not going to commit to this defuse. And honestly, I mean, even more to it, he gets the kill, but even if he would have gone down, I don't think there would have been enough time. It would have been very, very close.
Yep. So you're right. So AG hold on for another one. A very, very close round, but one more And this becomes a pretty par score of a half for AG, even if it was a massive struggle to get to 3.
It's something, though.
It's something.
It's 2 in a row, let's not forget, right? I mean, this is where I was kind of thinking BaiSha could have easily gotten more just the way they were playing and how, you know, conservative and passive, you know, AG were playing on this. Same setup we saw in the previous round 8. Ooh, did he? I don't know if he spotted that, actually. I don't think he did.
I think Du saw him.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah. I can just see him kind of chattering away there in the player box. Usually that means he's seen something that he's trying to communicate, and there is a bit of a rotate coming through. ZY with the contact play onto A. That's worked out perfectly. They just need to dislodge 577. It should be a formality, and it is, but 9 somehow gets himself 2. Again, the goat of Compound still having an impact, but this time maybe not enough. AG lining up for their 3rd.
Yeah, they got the man advantage, so this is where they just need to be able to get this thing done, and they can get it to 6-3. It's still the advantage for BaiSha, but at least it's something to work off into the second half. And Shui, oh, it's a labored spray, but it works. And now Lee is trying everything in his abilities, but he just can't seem to do it. So that will put a 6-3 for the first half. Still here for BaiSha, bot AG. That's got to be a boost of confidence. It's got to be a boost of momentum to get them something moving here for the second.
Yeah, let's see how much of a difference the half swap is going to end up making here. Those teams typically a little bit more comfortable on the GR side of the map, so that could be favorable for AG, but will it be favorable enough to put together 7? They have opted to go for the double sniper setup themselves, Du and ZY. Du situated over on A, ZY and B, both the snipers respectively, watching mid. Which tends to be a pretty focal point of the map. Funnily enough, Xiao's kind of being sent here as the entry man, the point man. Spotted anything out. So, a bit of territory being taken by BaiSha. They're being very careful about this, though. They must be expecting something aggressive from AG. It's not coming.
Yeah, I don't feel like in a round like this, AG would really want to risk it, you know, in the opening round. I could play aggressive on the GR side. I mean, not to say they win a little bit later on, but it feels a bit risky considering there's a nice 3-round, a little bit of a buffer here for BaiSha. BaiSha stuck right in the middle. They've hit the trap card, and now they're going to try to break free out of this if they can. They run into 1-2-2-2, and ZY and him together are able to find themselves that double. 1-2-2-2 again finds that second kill.
Yeah, and instantly the game has changed. Comfortable on the GR side here, AG. They're looking for their 4th in a row. Bit of a drought building here for BaiSha, and of course they are creatures of the water, so running out of water will be a bit of a problem for the Sharks. It is Xiao solo here in a 1v3. He doesn't have a lot of HP to play with, and he's got Du on the flank, so that'll be that. AG get themselves 4. BaiSha starting to mount for BaiSha. I reckon if we get a 6-6 equalizer, that'll be where the timeout does get called here.
Yeah. Crowd's getting rowdy. Getting excited now. You know, Elfish, I just kind of go back to the sake of, last in the Summer Champs last year. And this was the map that was, interestingly enough, this was the map that, AG lost to, against Team Falcons. That was, if you remember, that went the full distance, and AG,
right.
like, they were the
favorites, the heavy favorites.
Heavy favorites in that tournament.
That was actually a really, really bad tournament for pretty much all of the Chinese teams. AG was the only hope. He made it to the grand final. We thought, okay, well, normalcy will be returned here. And then Wolf Empire went on to win it.
Yeah. Wild times.
I'll win them all. Could
true.
win this one. This might be one of the best to win. Ooh. ZY. You've seen Xiao's noggin. Bumped a bit of the util out from AG to try and dissuade BaiSha from making their way towards B, but it is a fairly weakened B bomb side in terms of that defense, unless ZQ can double down here. Should be getting traded pretty comfortably, and he does. 1 for 1 so far. That means 1-2-2-2 has to come scrambling across, but he's got 9 to worry about as well. Not a good setup for AG this time around. BaiSha have cracked their way into the B site.
Oh, and even Jouet tries to do something, puts matters into his own hands, but no. Picked up. Taken away, and now Du just going to run away. They're going to allow this extra little bit of a conversation because they're the ones that called the timeout earlier on. Rightfully so. They got to figure things out. This is turning into a 7-4 affair. Now in favor for BaiSha. 3 rounds, to go to the last and final map. If needed. It's starting to look like that could be the case, and it's going to be on port too, which is even more of an interesting tale. But
yeah, Du just waiting out that timer. AG having a yarn with one another. Try to figure out how to win this game on the GR side. I think that round they just really do enough to unsettle BaiSha early in that round. They let BaiSha have so much territory, themselves in all sorts of trouble, sort of scrambling to come back across to the B site. Well, they're too little too late. Will be another slow approach from BaiSha. That nade stack from AG keeping them a little bit wary. Sometimes when you see that nade stack, you'll also see that combined with a couple of players pushing their way down mid from the GR side and trying to hold behind the big box. So BaiSha concerned about that, but now having cleared it out, can continue on their merry way.
now they've been able to make it across here, so BaiSha, actually this 2-3 split is nice because pulls Xiao, and I believe that's going to be 5-7-7. They might be able to find it. That's a good opener. Yeah, look at this. They get caught. This is not good at all. Oh, man, hang on, AL gamers. They've been able to play some mind games. And Du's able to find himself this double kill. This might be just enough at 5-7-7, 5 HP. Despite with him in the bomb, it doesn't even matter. A favorable situation.
Very similar approach this time around from BaiSha, but the protocols are there from AG on the rotate. The side defense went a little better as well. That was, I would imagine, how AG envisioned the previous round going as well, but they claw one more back. It's 7-5 now. The coach is frantically trying to comb some information across in the freeze time.
Yeah, and it's so short, right? Like, I think, what is it, like 8 seconds or something like that? It's pretty short.
Definitely not a lot.
Yeah, it's under 10. Hopefully Kyle can correct me later, but I'm pretty confident. Maybe a little sleepy and delusional at this point here, Elfish, but look, we still know a few things or two. We'll see if AG do as well. That was a great round, especially with that, timeout, not timeout, whatever you want to call that. Team chat.
Fake timeout.
Fake timeout.
Yeah, different approach this time around from BaiSha with 4 players dedicated toward the pillars push and just Xiao watching in middle. They want to seem like they keep some degree of interest in the B site. So, a bit of a mishap there from 1-2-2-2, who just goes strafing out onto the line that Leah has been allowed to set up on. Once again, AG going to have to be doing this from a numbers deficit. ZY patient on the trigger finger, but missing the shot onto Leah, and now really under pressure. Has to get back up on that line, take the risk. Doesn't see anybody. Smokes up now as well. BaiSha have enough. BaiSha have got what they wanted out of that engagement, and they're going to back off. They know the rotation would have been coming through from AG, so they're going to test middle now instead.
Yeah, it's a good rotation here from BaiSha. Like you said, they're just kind of pushing around and a lot of commotion happening, and now AG down the player now has to kind of, again, this is where they have to readjust their defense quickly. They have to take more of a gamble in this kind of a situation. Now they've readjusted appropriately. But can they execute the game plan? You have a player that is wounded, a player that is very low, less than 20 HP. He's the one that's going to be anchoring this B site. This could be a lot. He misses the first shot. That's not good. That allows an opening, but he does get redemption twice. He's been able to do something at least. But now his teammates have to make a connection. Zwei does get it with the last moment, but it's all just down to ZQ by himself. He's pushing fast, ferocious, and fearless, but no, it's going to be Leah that does better.
Oh, that round was madness. That was crazy. ZY almost does enough to keep it alive there for AG. You could see both teams just frantically throwing bodies at the B site. And BaiSha know how big of a round win that was. They got absolutely pumped up. I think they half fell out their chairs winning that round.
I don't blame them.
My goodness. Up to 8 now.
2 more and we go to port. Unless AG can find a second wind and bring it back into a closer affair here for Compound. BaiSha definitely have a very interesting read that they want this B site. You know, we've seen this over and over again. It has been quite good for them. You know, the A site, it is harder because there's a lot of different angles you have to clear. But as soon as you get in that B site, like we say, it's so much stronger on the BL side. It really is. I don't mind this game plan. It's been working out very nicely for them.
And AG are kind of playing a little bit weaker on the B side as well. It's typically been a 3-2 split between A and B. A lot of it falling into place for BaiSha on this BL side at the moment. 1-2-2-2 cannot afford to be getting picked for free here, which is what happened last round. You saw how close that last round was. An extra body for AG probably wins it for them. Does have ZY here to trade him if he does go down. That's a 1-for-1. ZY close behind the doors, unexpected. We'll be able to double down. ZY really is being the difference maker right now on this GR side for all gamers.
Bomb. Yeah, that's just big. Holding the tightest angle, too. Now AG.AL does finally put him to rest. A 1-on-4. But this is a little scary for me.
It's losable. It's definitely losable. I mean, if Do goes down, then all bets are off.
Do has to stay alive.
He's been patient, really patient there from Do.
Good discipline.
So here's Xiao on his way past, and so he's going to continue with this flank. Players in mid are not going to peek Xiao, so he will be allowed across mid. But you can kind of see that BaiSha have this net around him, or AG rather have this net around him, and he's kind of walked into the trap. They've got all the information from that flank, and so nothing to be done there for Xiao as 6 goes up for AG. Still 2 the deficit.
And I'm around like that. I mean, lots of conversation here to bring this back to a tie game. Again, you gotta thank ZY to be able to hold it down like that. 2 rounds needed for a tie game scenario. Good flashes thrown. ZY now going to put a little bit more pressure onto this. So actually, this is one of the rounds AG. They actually try to get a little bit more aggro. Do they want to keep pushing on it? Look at BaiSha. They are sitting back. They are caught in the cage, and they don't have the key yet to get out. They're trying to pry it open. They're trying to do something with this, but they're going to sit and wait things out, and AG will do a reset onto this situation. I love it, though. I love, again, this is putting a lot more guessing here for 9. A lot more hesitation, a lot more cautious behavior that has to happen. Now you look at this, you can see he's clearing every single angle.
Definitely quite concerned, and it is taking a bit of time for BaiSha to work through the map in this round. Mid control and wait. Mid control and wait. Mid control and wait. Patience a virtue here for both teams on Compound, that's for sure. 2-2-2, having a little bit of a look through his smoke, not seeing anything. There's a responding smoke as well from AG. GR spawned BaiSha onto the left side of mid. What's the call? B again. And This time, ZY not there to back up 1-2-2-2, who has been having a bit of a difficult time. See if he can hold it down this time. Just jump spotting. He spotted out Leo's going to tuck himself behind the box. That gives time for ZY to come across. They're going to have to fight him together. ZY, where's the swing? Maybe it's not required. In fact, it is. It's two from both. And 1-2-2-2 will finish it off with a third. That was such beautiful patience from all gamers, and they close the gap to 1.
Oh my goodness. And this is exactly, you know, we talked about 1-2-2-2, what he's been able to do, and what a way to come alive into this. Locking it down and throwing away the key, possibly. We'll see if BaiSha are going to be able to find it in the deep waters here. Now AG have they been able to find something that's working for them here on the GR side. And 1 round needed to bring this back to a tie game where now the conversation could be wide open for where this could go. What did BaiSha want to do with this? Now they're the ones that are trembling in the boots a little bit.
Yeah, certainly feeling that this comeback is slowly but surely getting some power behind it. If B is not an option anymore, which it doesn't really feel like it is, I mean, AG have held that B side a couple of times quite well. That throws a bit of a spanner in the works of the game plan of BaiSha, who have really looked to exploit the B side of the map. So probing a bit more towards A this time around. Again, ultimately, they may just decide to finish on B. Got that long control. Some of it. Shui a little bit forward on long, not seeing too much. 1-2-2-2 again. Has been given a lot of responsibility over towards pillars, essentially kind of solo holding that area of the map. There's a lot of forces from AG over on A. ZY waiting for the peek into GR spawn is going to be greeted with a grenade. Here comes the offensive onto A. It's a 1-for-1 so far. Shui does a good job onto Xiao, but the rest of the hit coming into A might prove to be a little bit too much.
Oh, no.
BaiSha getting all the entries that they needed. AG had the numbers there. They had the players. They just crumbled.
They just couldn't make a shot. You could just see so many whiffs and just, again, just not able to land any connections at all. And now 1-2-2-2, like, I was thinking maybe a moment where you can go beast mode, not at all. And now BaiSha on the map point to push this thing to the absolute full distance of the best of 5. And AG, they got to put everything on the line here. They have to be able to find these two to push it into overtime for redemption. A map that was theirs. This is their pick.
Yeah, this is going to have to be an overtime victory for AG if they want to get it done here and now. Xiao having a look over at his teammate's screen. Figure out something, I'm not sure, but either way, BaiSha teetering on the precipice of a port appearance. Said he wins the race on compound once again. BaiSha mid-control and wait. Same util sets out from both teams. Delaying smokes in through middle, over towards pillars. 1-2-2-2 still holding on to all of his util, so he's trying to keep as much for the late round as possible. Not be super relevant, but he does smoke now. Real offensive is coming in through mid. BaiSha have not made a call to go anywhere just yet.
No, they're really just staying true to this mid control and just kind of waiting things out, maybe hoping that AG might overswing on this or something, but are they going to use Leah to be able to a distraction maybe before they go for it? I don't know. This doesn't feel like likely. It's just this round is, I don't understand it.
Both teams just dumping util. Seems like on a whim. ZY though for the double again continues to try to be the hero here for AG. And it's resulted in a 4-on-2. I mean, a lot of these kills just happening off screen and not really too much to say about it, but BaiSha need a miracle from 577 and Xiao to win this round. Xiao has that C4 in hand. 577 is actually getting quite deep out onto the A side, too.
Great trade.
Does need to be traded back down, and Xiao in with a chance here. That's a little bit lackluster on the A hold from AG, but they do still have ZY and 1-2-2-2 to try and close it out. Now, they are isolating themselves into 2 1v1s. ZY has spotted Xiao out. I'm a little bit scared that if Xiao gets a bit of space, he could make some magic happen. It won't happen this time around. AG will take it to 8. And they may well still take it all the way to overtime.
You can't help but laugh because you just don't know. Like, it's just been the abyss. We've been trying to figure out, like, what is the answer here? You think that it's all over. You think that BaiSha have been able to seal the deal and put it in the envelope and put it in the mailbox, and then we go to port. But no, it's AG. I count their lucky stars that ZY's been able to find himself that multi-kill that's put this into round number 18. A big moment here for all gamers to see if they can push this to overtime for a second crack here on Compound. Otherwise, it is going to the 5th. And BaiSha sitting back and waiting in the wins again.
This is a change in pace from AG, certainly. They want to throw a spanner in the works for BaiSha. I like it. I'm not sure how much I'm going to like it in 30 seconds or so, and AG thinking the same thing as those smokes are going to start to fade. The forward smokes, they will back off. It is going to mean it'll take BaiSha quite a bit of time to work their way through the map now. You can see how far back they're playing. They have 0 map control. 1 minute into the round, 0 map control for BaiSha. So by the time they do inevitably get to one of these sites, they're probably not going to have a lot of time for that take. That's where the mistakes will start to creep into the gameplay, and we'll see whether or not they can be exploited by AG. Boosting up towards A long to set up there alone. Bit of a one-and-done position for him, especially as a sniper. He doesn't have anyone here to back him up. If he misses the shot, he's dead. He doesn't. But he's still going to have to try and fight his way out of trouble here. I mean, just not really the gun that you want. Rifle could have been a little bit more useful. A bit more flexible, certainly. Thank God he's hit the shot as far as AG is concerned. If he doesn't hit that shot, that position looks ludicrous.
Exactly. And look, I mean, this is where we're kind of seeing, you know, he's putting himself in these positions where all the way to this point, he's just been instrumental. He's the one that's been able to find a lot of influence in the game, but it's a little bit more of a slow approach from him. But at least when he can get that kill, that's something. And now, see why again, man, he's able to find this double. How does this happen?
You can see why he's put in such a pivotal position. Here comes Xiao.
No way!
For 2. He's got it. He's got the double. Leah, will he chance the plant? 1-2-2-2 has now been spotted out. Leah almost taken down. Xiao here to back him up. 1-2-2-2 trying to hold on for AG. It's looking like map number 3. Timer factor certainly, but it's not going to be enough, and BaiSha will push it through to a 5th.
BaiSha just able to get themselves out of the hole. They were able to get themselves dug up, and now we're back on the ground. This is where this is going to go. The maximum distance of the best of 5. It is going to be port. Somehow, some way, when you think that all gamers were able to get the job done and to rewrite a little bit of this history against these two teams, it ain't over yet. It has to go all the way.
Just seems to happen time and time and time again, doesn't it? Every single time we see these teams play against each other in an international competition, it goes the distance. It's not normally the case back in CFPL. The games there actually do tend to be a little bit quicker. It was 3-0 in the grand final of CFPL, but here they meet the final of EWC, and 3-2 will be the scoreline. We just don't know which way it's going to go. Port coming up next. It's a big question mark. It's so deep in the pool that neither team wanted to pick into it. It had to be left as the remainder. So who knows? I mean, the starting side will be a big differentiating factor as well. Valiant attempt, though, it has to be said for AG, and the deeper we go into this series, the closer the maps are going to get. So that's as close as it's going to be on map 4. What does that say for map 5?
I have no idea. That's the thing. Like, I don't even feel like Port is the best map for both these teams. I don't really think it's a map that they really, you know, puff the chest or they try to flex and, you know, really brag about. Like, now I feel like this really is a coin toss. I have no idea. Like, just considering how these teams have been playing, you think that AG has it in the bag, then BaiSha comes back, then you think BaiSha has it, and then AG comes back. It really is just that circumstance. But look, we're gonna have to take a little bit of a break as we get locked and loaded here for the final map here at EWC.
Reach your impossible. Lenovo Legion.
One map remains here between these two teams and that very trophy. It's the Esports World Cup CROSSFIRE. It's AG.AL and BaiSha taking one another on in yet another international grand final. And yet again, Laz, it has gone to a fifth map. It is familiar territory for these two teams. For us, we very much expected a close matchup, and that is what we are getting. What we expect from here, well, I have no idea. I don't have the answers for you. Once it gets to this point in a best of 5, it really is anybody's guess as to where we'll go.
No, I'm with you. I couldn't agree with you more. I'm 100% with you in this situation. It's It really is just now who's going to be able to just put that extra 10, 20, 30% into this game. I don't think the statistics are going to matter. Nothing really matters at this point. It really is just going to be who can play the best Crossfire in this last and final map here at EWC to become the first champions ever at this tournament.
Yeah, the first and only inaugural champions. They will never be unseated from that particular throne, but as is inscribed on the trophy, nothing is granted. So you need to work for it. Everything is earned, and that is very much a way of describing this grand final, right? It has been a very long journey to get here for both of these two teams, all the way obviously from China. I've flown from Australia myself, so I kind of know how long of a distance that is for those players, and then not to mention the time zone difference, not to mention the week of Crossfire they've played, and not to mention the 4 maps that they've now already had to play in this particular game. Also, a best of 3 each today.
Yep.
And now 1 more map requested of them as we go on to port to close the day out. And in about 45 minutes time, we will have our victor. We will be aware of who the champion is. It is AG that do get the favorable side to start the map off. They need a strong start to this map to get themselves a bit of momentum back into this grand final. But here we go. Map number 5 of the Crossfire at EWC Grand Final.
It's a great point you bring up, and again, for people that weren't aware, it's like, look, we had the semifinals earlier today, and yes, both these teams, you know, with the respectful 2-0, but it definitely wasn't an easy, you know, circumstance. Like BaiSha were the ones that had to go to a 13-9 to, like, you know, really seal the deal to get there. You know, it felt like AG, they were the ones that were able to get a 10-7, a 10-5, but that's a lot of games, and now you're talking about a map 5 for the grand final. Like, that is going the distance. That is really just playing just so many games. So that's where I was kind of saying the statistics of this, I'm not even going to talk about it because it just doesn't matter at this point. I'm just now curious really again about the energy and who's going to be able to have it. I saw Do is a little bit more quiet in this 4th map. Does he have his chance to maybe get a little more redemption to do what he did on Eagle-Eye or what he was able to do in the 1st map? I have no idea.
Well, this would be the map to do it. It is a sniper's paradise, and we have many a time seen Do and ZY taking that double sniper setup into this map. Typically, it will be ZY here over toward B, but he's actually holding mid this time. So 2 riflers for the B hold, and 1-2-2 and ZQ just going to play for the retake here. Happy to let BaiSha out initially, and that's kind of gone wrong for them. The exchange is favorable for the Sharks as Shui tries to get ahead of the retake, and that has blown up in his face, and we've got that bomb plant going down. Do in a 1v3, you highlighted him having to be impactful. Well, this would certainly be a pretty impactful way to win the opening round. A 1v3, that's a quick shot, doesn't quite land it onto Xiao though. And BaiSha off with a good start, a great start in fact, when you consider it is a blacklist-sided round.
A really good round though, especially from BaiSha, like you said. Again, just getting this opener. The BL side is, you know, this is where I am going to wonder about N9 and how well he was able to just make some big plays. He was able to just kind of, you know, Rambo his way into certain situations and into certain, you know, bomb sites and just creating a lot of openings. We'll see if he can do that again here. But AG, one of the things that, you know, I loved about watching them so far in this tournament, like I said, is the fact that when they're moving around the map and when they're able to just kind of, you know, keep their constant pressure onto the site here, that's when it's been good. But at 9, like I talked about, now he's the one that wants to be able to find the openings. And now you can see the BaiSha, they got the 3 alive, and 577, and Zhao now able to maybe seal the deal. But dude, how does he do it? Best USP player, I'm telling you.
They've lined up for him, and they've given him the round.
It looked like it was all over. I think even he was a little bit surprised. His face was like, yep, okay, let's go.
Yeah, me too. I don't think he expected that one at all. AG very happy with it, though. That extra round could be all the difference. We saw how close things went on map 4. 1-1 the score. BaiSha, the wind out of their sails after that. Been a 2-0 lead on the blacklist side, and
yeah,
it's starting to look very scary for AG at that point, but not over yet.
Oh, wow, look at the utility.
Yeah, have a look at those smokes on the A side. I mean, you've got to commit to this. If you're going to throw that many smokes, you really do have to use them.
Yeah.
That's your entire contingent of util pretty much expended. Nade up over the top. You see BaiSha making no secret of what they're doing in this round, and so the rotators come across from AG. Zhuai happily taking that double kill before eventually being brought down to heal, and it needs to come down to these refrags from BaiSha. They were not concerned. They didn't feel the pressure even after losing those opening 2 players because they had faith in those refrags, and now they have themselves a 3-on-2 lead, but they still don't quite have the control of the site that they want to be able to get that plant down. The C4 in Leah's hands, forward on ground floor. They need another kill and they get it. And that's going to start to stabilize things. There is a trade back from 1-2-2-2, but it gives away the information as to where this last remaining player is. Xiao swings alone. YDSS goes after him in the macro, falling apart. AG get themselves a second.
Look at how excited they are. They know that they have an opportunity to win this as well. Winning that first round for them, maybe that just allows them to get the ball moving. And again, for, BaiSha, I love that full execute into it. It looked like it was decent. There was a lot of damage that was inflicted onto them, but they were in a prime position to have that round in their hands. But again, somebody like 1-2-2-2 that's able to, again, just put up these multi-kills. Now the duel of N9 able to find this entry once more. It costs them a lot of HP, but at least it puts them in advantage.
Yeah, big misplay from the 2 BaiSha members in that 2-on-1. How big of a difference that could make. To find out. Disadvantage in this round though for AG. But they've been pretty clutch so far on the map. So I'm not sure that the 4-on-5 is necessarily the biggest of concerns for them. BaiSha not pressing the advantage, happy to slow it down, give AG a bit of time to stew. At some point, someone from AG is going to want to look for information. That is what BaiSha is hoping for. 1-2-2-2 wisely, instead of peeking into warehouse, is just going to smoke it off. So BaiSha heading in a different direction.
And they leave from it too, right? I mean, that smoke just really pushes them back, and you could see they were kind of vacating the premises. They didn't even want to really go for it at all, and now maybe they might entertain it again. A lot of thought process on it. Now it looks like that is going to be the plan of attack. The last just under 50 seconds remaining. They're going to swing into this. Perfect pop flash here from AG though. That might buy them some time. A reposition from all the defensive players. He gets a nice little bit of a dueling frag into middle. Do they clear this player in big pit? It is 1-2-2-2 and now 5-7-7. He does get the best of it. But look at how fast that AG just pounced on it.
Xiao alone. If he can do something with the USP, not quite. Apparently Do is just better. AG have another. And that was from a 4-on-5 deficit. So this GR side is really starting to get rolling now. Been touch and go, definitely. BaiSha have been close in a lot of these rounds, but kind of highlighted how important it is to get off to a good start in a couple of these maps. I mean, Black Widow and Compound, respectively. AG have that good start. What does that mean for the health of this grand final for BaiSha?
I'm just looking at the scores, like 10-1, 10-4, 10-4, 10-8. Boy, oh boy. What a journey to get here. This grand final, it barks and it bites. And now BaiSha once again full execute into the site.
Yeah, this will be one of those grand finals that we're going to be talking about in the future come CFS 2025. At some point, there'll be a conversation between BaiSha and AG, and this one will be a big discussion point. Nades over the top onto the A side. Don't really do too much to unseat Do, but of course he can't see a damn thing. There's smokes everywhere. A lot of this falls onto the shoulders of Zhuai, and this time he can't find that double that he was able to get earlier on in the piece. So BaiSha, their A offenses have been looking a little better than the B hits. This time though, starting to swing back in the other direction as quick couple of frags come through. And Xiao is left alone. The pause will come through. BaiSha desperately need it, and I mean, Xiao could kind of just give them a free pause here if he sat down behind the box. They didn't actually need to call the tack timeout.
Yeah. I felt a bit premature in my opinion because right now he could literally just sit there for the minute.
Yep.
And have that conversation, save it for later, but nonetheless they do it.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the protocol is, like whether or not the players are calling the pause or if the coach is calling the pause. If the coach is calling the pause because he wants to say something, then fair enough.
I do kind of wonder that because you like the gadget he's holding in the hand, like it's quite big, so I don't know if there's like a button to like spam for it, but nonetheless, AG, a big catapult start here. All thanks to Do getting that pistol, and then things have just been full steam ahead. These guys have been able to go on the highway, and the rubber has hit the road, and now BaiSha trying to do a bit of a pit stop to see if they can kind of change the track a little bit here. But I mean, I really liked BaiSha's, full A exec. I like the utility that they're throwing into it, but you can see that AG, they're reacting to it well. They got the perfect pop flashes. They're making it not the easiest situation for them to get into this site. So this is where BaiSha, they're going to have to, again, go through the strategy book. They need to find something different now. The A-hit is just not favor for them.
I know exactly what he said there. I can read his lips. He said, Pialiang, which means brilliant or amazing or beautiful, or depending on the context.
That's pretty good.
In this context, it's like, yes, let's go. It's like awesome, amazing.
Well, it is. It really is amazing. Like, that's the thing. Like, we were talking about it before, but I'll say it again, is the fact that there could have been a conversation where BaiSha was going to get the first opening 2 rounds. Do was able to get himself, I think, that double kill at the very end, which made it the 1-1, and then it's just been AG this whole time. Like, this could be a 2-2 scoreline. But right now we're talking about a 4-1.
The math ain't mathin', mate.
Well, you know what I mean. Yeah, you're right. Look, it's been long. It's been a long day, all right? Like, that's why I said you don't do math live. Like, now I'm just going to get trolled forever about this.
Yep.
We'll talk about it at CFS 2025.
2 + 2 = 5.
Oh, dear.
We're into round 6. AG, dominance on display at the moment here on Port. Double sniper setup again from Do and ZY. It hasn't even necessarily been the focal point, frankly. I think the riflers have been really quite outstanding for AG. 1-2-2-2 and ZQ. A big clutch out from 1-2-2-2 as well earlier on. What is the option of choice here for BaiSha? What have they cooked up in the lab? If it's a hit towards B, they're going to have to go through the smoke. It looks like they want to, and ZY waiting on the other side, not quick enough with that shot, but continuing to play close. He knows he's got backup. Now it's his turn to drop back and start to dump some util. BaiSha have decided not to go. They've just taken the space and slowed down.
Yeah, but I think they really are hoping that AG might, second guess themselves, get an extra rotate on there that just creates an extra player to be gone here on the defense. But now the nades are going to get thrown. ZQ's just trying to spam away here with the M14. Can't seem to find it, but good nade though. Does do a little bit of damage. Not going to stop them in their tracks a little bit here.
Yeah, happy to play again for the retake here, AG. 5-7-7 with a misthrown grenade is going to make it not quite as potent of a hit into the side here for BaiSha, but they will get the plant down. There is a flank happening as well. There's a fight in middle. That is Jue and YDSS.
Oh, this is a good
kind
boost.
of jostling for position. ZQ trying to boost back up to the boxes. He's really having trouble.
Need to get it going.
Really having trouble. Time such a factor here as ZQ decides to give up on that boost.
They're just posted up. They're just holding all these corners. They're not even peeking at all. They're just playing the lines here. Look at how well it's working out. AG just get punished for it. Again, like the mechanical error. They were just stuck. But lovely work from BaiSha.
It looked like such a great start to that round for AG, right? Like when the initial entry was happening for BaiSha, they sort of backed off. They dumped a bunch of util. There was a really nice grenade into warehouse that kind of hit a couple of the BaiSha members. I thought this was a great setup actually for AG, but they never really got themselves settled for that retake in the end, and they didn't also find a pick on the entry either. So 5v5 for a retake leaves you with a lot of work to do with, 30 seconds or so, let's say, to sort of play with. So yeah, tough one for AG. As BaiSha find the success that they were looking for off the back of the tack timeout. And now have to rush headfirst into another round. This is round 7.
You mean there's the one sniper here for Do as well for AG, so ZY is actually kind of mixed up the weapons a little bit. There's times where he likes to equip it, sometimes he doesn't. I do like that they're mixing it up a little bit though. See how well that can work out. N9's going to be able to get this cat control. Leave the smoke. Should be able to cross things off here on the sense here on the A site, or onto GR spawn I should say. And they might try to split into B on this. Oh, but ZQ overextends his welcome a little bit on this one. Look at how cluttered they are. They're still not even committing to this.
Just waiting for that long player Shao to get himself sorted. They're going to go. Nine also. Look to see if he can get a freebie here, which he will be able to do. Not quite a freebie in the end. It ends up being a 1-for-1. Do in all sorts of trouble up on the site. Can't lock it down. BaiSha coming back with a vengeance now on the BL side, but 1222 says, this is my site, you can't have it. Runs out of bullets. Oh, he had Shao dead to rights. Won't be the case this time. Now again, on to ZY, who has been stellar in this series. Not for this round.
Well, I feel like that was just a round of AG just missing a bunch of shots, right? Like, I think he took 2 or 3 before he hit the grave, and then you see that 1-2-2-2, like, again, no more bullets in the chamber, so they give up 2 kills right there. So it just puts ZY in a really unfortunate position that he has to clutch. And again, when you're in that kind of a position, you have so many different angles you have to clear. You have to go in the high, you have to go in the low. So all of a sudden, a 4-1 lead is now turned into a 4-3 scoreline. And all gamers, they are having a difficult time right now. But see if they can get their head off the swivel a little bit on this one, because BaiSha only need this one round to tie things up as we get into the last round of the half after this.
BaiSha would be happy with 4. Not too disappointed with 3. It's been a bit of a back and forth half, and that's more than enough when you're on the BL side. It was a phenomenal start for AG, but it has started to slip a little. This B site has been exploited once or twice, and it seems as though BaiSha are looking to do so again. They're clearing out warehouse as we speak. Why? Holding some counter util here, and ZQ the same. I think again, the approach from AG here is just going to be dump a bit of util, not necessarily going to look to fight. Of course, BaiSha are going to chump their way forward and do just that. Ends up being a 1-for-2 now as the reinforcements come through for AG, but a fast flank in from YDSS is going to be enough to pick up Shui, and that leaves it down to just a couple of remaining members tagged up here for AG to try to hold on to the site. C4 was dropped forward. Shao holding that line, missing the shot. That could be crucial. Whips out the sidearm and just walks right into Do's crosshair. I'm not sure what that was from Shao. YDSS certainly didn't seem to get the memo. I don't think he swung with him. That leaves YDSS alone, so again, a little mishap, and again, off the back of a Shao peak, leaves YDSS a lot of work to do.
And honestly, I was getting pretty nervous for all gamers there, because you had the one player in Big Pit, you had the player that was kind of hugging the hard right side there with the counter flash, but the jump spot, it felt a little bit late. And I guess the timing was, thankful here for Do and also ZQ to be able to, close the deal, bring in the big guns, and they get it done. So now they've been able to get themselves this 5th round, which means they do guarantee the half for sure. But a 6th round going into the BL side, that's going to feel really good here for AG, just considering the BL side is not always the easiest on a map like this, but at 9, does he want to lead the charge on this? No, it's going to be 5-7-7 instead. They're actually going to cross into mid, but look at ZQ. He's able to get the kill, able to run away, and 1-2-2-2 at least can find one before he goes down. And they have just annihilated this competition here in round number 9.
Yeah, it looks like equilibrium is going to be restored, and we're going to end with a 6-3. Very pass score. at halftime of Port. It doesn't necessarily tell us a lot, of course. You'd probably rather be in the shoes of AG just because you're out in front by a little bit. Smidgen. Doesn't necessarily mean this is a foregone conclusion. This could really still go either way.
Yeah, this is still up for grabs. No clear favorite in this one.
Single sniper setup for BaiSha. A change in approach from them in comparison to AG on the defense. That reliance on the shoulders of Xiao.
And this is kind of the AG thing, right? This is where we say they like to play this slow. This is, you know, exactly what they were doing before. When they were playing on AG, we were saying, like, look, they like to play this extremely slow setup where they just like to wait things out, hoping that maybe the GR side's going to bait some utility. Maybe somebody's going to just kind of go for a bit of a swing on it. But this is where, I do want them to have a little bit more mixture on it and not just rely on this gameplay the whole time. But it's a 2-2 setup here for BaiSha, though, on the defense. So if they actually decide to commit to this A site, this could really be a bit of a nuisance here, Elfish.
Well, no massive indications one way or the other, apart from the fact that ZY is holding this C4. And he is very much situated on the A side of the map. Actual pop in the face of Zhui. It's not going to really push him away. AG being so patient. Sub 45 seconds now for the take on the site. BaiSha are going, hunting for a bit of info and positioning, and 577 has been allowed to cross deep into long. If he wins this duel against Shui, then the game is going to get a lot harder for AG. Maybe they've waited a bit too long. Refrag does come through from ZY, but C4 now known. And AG are going to have to scramble to get into one of these sites. That's a nice kill from Du. Puts a lot on the shoulders of YDSS as he has to hold the B site solo, and he knows they're coming from mid, so he takes the fight to them. But he can only get himself a 1-for-1. It's not enough to really trouble AG. They're on their way to 7.
These are really good positions here for the post plant. Because again, the thing is whoever goes through B warehouse, like, are they really going to clear this close of an angle? Yeah, indeed they will. Leah's going to be able to find it. I didn't know if they would actually do that protocol. I didn't know if they would actually check it, considering how much of the distance we've been in. But not being lazy and being disciplined. Now Du goes for a big swing. He goes down. It's all down to the 1v1 now. Things are starting to go through, and Zhao's just hunting, but he doesn't clear underneath. ZQ still just being the mastermind. He's just jiggling around. He's dancing, and he still is going to be able to win this round despite not getting the kill, and AG will keep themselves in a winning way.
Yeah, nice movement from ZQ, ducking his head down. Stone-faced on the side of BaiSha as this starts to get grimmer and grimmer. Only got 3 rounds to play with right now. AG closing in on yet another CROSSFIRE title. This one might be the biggest of them all. And what a bounce back that would have been from 12 months ago. AG in this very position in a grand final at the mid-season event, which is the Summer Championship previously, now the Esports World Cup. They lost that grand final to Wolf Empire. It was a massive moment for Vietnamese CROSSFIRE. But now we are back to the usual Chinese dominance, and AG are the team that may be flying the flag at the end of this game.
It really is, like you said, it's really the biggest question of which logo is going to be on the flag on this one, right? We both know it's Chinese teams, but is it going to be the AG logo, or is it going to be the BaiSha stamp here to being your champions here at EWC? And AG are now, again, taking it slow and steady to see if they can win this race. Leah now just pushing back a little bit more. The triple setup, double on bridge and double on A. So BaiSha once again An anticipation here that the A hit is the problem, and they're going to put a lot more resources there. Not necessarily the plan of attack here from all gamers. They're still even kind of pondering the idea of what do they want to do.
Well, they want to take their time about it. That's been the approach in these first couple of rounds on the BL side from AG. He worked out last round, but they did get themselves a couple of crucial kills on their way through. This is interesting. It's a fake over toward the A side. It has pulled most of the rotators. If the entry onto B is clean, it will be big. Leah will go down. And that is a C4 plan on offer for AG, not to mention a bunch of frags popping up in the kill feed there as well. YDSS is stuck behind a smoke. He's got Xiao behind him. He has to go for it, and it's not going to happen. Xiao spotted out as well. ZY letting out a roar as they get ever closer. AG.AL are 2 rounds away.
2 rounds away, and they could get the job done, but they know that they cannot just be composed in this moment. It's taken a lot of grit to get to this situation. And BaiSha, they're getting caught here on the rotate, so AG are doing a phenomenal job right now on the BL side of catching the timings. And they are starting to master or work against the mastermind of, N9, which I never knew that could be possible, but it's proving to be it could be. Double setup here in the B main here from BaiSha. They're going to mix it up. They feel like they have to change up the setup, and I agree. It's something new has to happen here and now before it's a little bit too late.
AG don't seem to be worried about anything being too late. They are really playing this at their own pace. 7-7 with a little bit of a jiggle peek. He could really spot AG out here. He's not going to be able to do much about it. Nade will land on the head of AG, but that's not a concern. They have what they want. An opening pick. And is that going to be enough to get them a 9th, to get them onto series point? I'll slow it down again.
Yeah. And this is a good thing too, is like, again, what we see is that AG, even if they win this fight, they're not committing to it. They're going to wait things out. BaiSha, they kind of figured that out. They're like, look, don't over-rotate. Don't just, assume it's happening. We don't know yet. They want more information. 45 seconds now hitting the mark. Actually, he's been able to make it through. He might be able to find the timing. It's not even him that has to get that kill. It's actually ZY. So now at 9, he does take the bomb carrier.
Yeah, the bomb out on its own, not going to be traded down. Spacing a bit of a mess here for AG. Maybe they're losing their heads at the final hurdle. 1-2-2 and do, though, will make the difference. That's a big clutch out from them. And they're being told to calm down. It's not over yet. Listen to the coach. We still need one more round.
Yeah, you can even see Du's hand. He's kind of like putting it down. You're like, no, okay, hang on. Just don't over-celebrate. Don't pop the champagne. It's not happening yet.
They've been here before, lads. They know exactly what they need to do. All 5 of these players, seasoned veterans. I can't imagine that they won't be able to close it out from here. A 9-3 lead is monumental. BaiSha haven't really thrown a spanner in the works in this round. They've set themselves up normally. Do finding that opener. Way the trade. The A site, the focus of attention, and ZQ has slipped through middle. Oh, if YDSS maybe spotted him out, it certainly seems like he's looking for him. 9 will fall. Leah coming in late from long, but may not be much of a factor. It's down to just YDSS solo in a 1-on-3 against all gamers. Bomb has been planted. The time is ticking. The EWC trophy is waiting for all gamers. They are waiting to claim it. They will take their thrones. 10-3, and it is a victory for all gamers. You can see what it means to them as they become the inaugural Esports World Cup CROSSFIRE champions.
AG hasn't been able to taste, the glory for a number of years. They've been so close. They've had so many second placements. They've been able to get right to the grand finals over and over again. But now they've been able to do it. They've been able to rewrite the history books here for Chinese CROSSFIRE. And they've been able to do it here and now at EWC.
And once again, it's against their old foes of BaiSha, how many times these two teams have met. And I wonder how many times in the future they will meet again. It is just another step on the journey, another chapter in the history book for both of these two rosters. But of course, for all gamers, it will be a particularly exciting one, given that they've been able to do it here in Riyadh, but also in front of a, I would say, home crowd. There was a lot of all gamers fans there. Very keen to see that victory finally get slotted in. It's been a long day of CROSSFIRE for both of these two teams, but AG have just picked up $750,000 as the winners of CROSSFIRE here at the Esports World Cup. But not only that, that also, I believe, is going to be enough to bump them up into 6th on the Club Championship, eclipsing Gen G. And that's another $500,000 for the org. So a big win all around for all gamers.
Yeah, it's a big victory right now for all gamers in so many different avenues. Like we said, they finally get a first place here, where BaiSha has been able to run through this 2025 year, winning every single competition. They've been able to take everybody out, but now all gamers have been able to get themselves a big victory, meaning so many different things.
Well, here they are, ready to claim their trophy. First, of course, they need to put that key in. But here we have all gamers once again standing ready as champions of yet another CROSSFIRE tournament. This one particularly special. Your champions of the Esports World Cup, all gamers.